Whoa. Hello, my friends. Hello, hello.
Hi.
Oh, hi. I know I'm messing up left and right here. Hello, everyone in the chat. If you just knew all the things that went wrong in the last few minutes, you'd be very surprised that we are actually here. We are actually here. We made it. We're live finally. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for hanging out while we fixed everything up. And we have Jen with us and Megan with us.
Hi.
And I see tons of people in the chat today. And I'm really glad you guys are here. And it's going to be a little different tonight. We've got a little bit of a presentation, not as much as before, but we're going to talk. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
It's a panel of settled ladies, but we're going to talk about cougars and manthers. Do you guys know what a manther is?
I do not, but I can
No.
Well, they say a cougar is a woman who goes after younger men, or that's her sexual preference or whatever relationship she's in at the time. And I had to do some research. You know, nerd that I am. I get on Google and I have to start talking to people about this and Googling stuff about this because I didn't even know, like, what could the age difference be? Like, what do you think the age difference is to qualify for a cougar?
Oh, it'd have to be at least 10 years, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if you would think.
Right.
If they're saying like 8 to 10, you know, but I'm telling it's that they said 8 or 10, but there's some
I've been
very
a
famous
cougar a
cougars.
couple of times now.
Oh, and is it as great as they say, Jen?
Well, with the first guy, yes. The second guy, not so much.
Nothing worse than an untalented younger man.
Right.
All that energy and none of the skill. This is not good, right? I mean, but, you know, if they're open, it could be very interesting, I think.
That's true.
Or make it a learning experience, you know, like a Mrs. Robinson. Does anybody remember that old movie?
Yes.
I'm so dating myself now.
I mean, I've got to say the first guy, not only was he good, he was exceptionally well hung. So not that that's a requirement, but he just was.
He just happened to be.
He just happened to be. It was like a bonus.
I know. I'm glad we're getting that out of the way before Peter gets here. It's like
he'll be whipping it out and and doing a comparison. He'll want to know if he's bigger or smaller.
I don't know. He's usually naked when he's here, so who knows? I don't know. But really, can you swing an avatar penis? I don't think so. I don't know if you could swing an avatar vagina. I don't know.
I don't know. But I was thinking earlier with the software I've got running here for when I do my streams, I could actually set up so instead of having a still avatar, I could have an animated naked avatar, which would be kind of cool.
An animated naked avatar? You have software? Wait a minute. Yeah. Did you just say you have software that animates your avatar?
I have the ability to do it. I'm not doing it, but I have the ability to do it.
I'm
Claire's got to put in a request.
I'm not even going to tell you what you just did to me, like all over. Like I got goosebumps. Like the weirdest thing gives me goosebumps. Like, you know, some avant-garde poem from like the 60s and naked avatars that can be animated. Like this, my mind just exploded with all of the options. Can you just imagine? What could you? Oh my God, I got to stop because I won't be able to contain myself. No. Can you imagine what this show would be like if the avatars could be animated? Oh my God. I would not have a channel after the first show.
I'd do it as selectable animations rather than just it copying what I was doing here. So I could click on it. So if you say something really good, I could do a rub nipple or, you know, you could do all the cool stuff.
I'm getting, oh boy, this is news. You need to send me links to what kind of software this is. I think link me. My goodness. You need to link me for sure. Like I'm going to be waiting with bated breath until I can figure out how to animate the avatars. Because hello, people, if you think what we normally do here is lit and a little too much. You just wait till those avatars can move.
I want avatars like it would be cool if we could do, you know, the sensual licking of the lips with the avatars or rubbing a nipple or, you know, it doesn't have to be over the top, but just a flick of the hair and
I am not the only one who is excited about this idea. Mm-hmm. Look at this. Claire's just animating avatar porn 24/7. GGI avatars sound like fun. They do, Lace. They do. And I sent you a message. It's like, yes, we could do that. We're going to rub nipple. It would, Lace. I'm there. I'm telling you. Oh, my God. Claire ain't going to bed today. No, I'm not. I'm going to be Googling like crazy. I just did not know this was possible. My world you just expanded my world beyond my normal horizons for mayhem. You know, I thought I had done most of what you could do for Mayhem, but now, oh my God. Hope you're sitting on a towel, Claire, making those puddles. Yeah, I am, as usual. I am in, don't you worry, Mrs. Cassandra. I am in my normal attire, which is fucking nothing. And sitting in the middle of my big king size bed, talking to everybody through my laptop with my headset. But I do have scented candles tonight, and I'm wearing a little oil. I'm wearing amber tonight. Has anybody ever smelled amber? Just the smell of an essential oil called just the amber. It's like a.
When you said, "Has anybody smelled amber?" I was wondering who you were talking about.
No, it's not a girl. It's a scented oil. It is very nice. It's kind of warm. It smells like it sounds. It smells warm and a little woodsy, but it's actually really nice. Yes, Mrs.
My
Cassandra.
actual answer was going to be I've never got that close to an amber to actually have ever smell, but
me either. All the ambers that I knew. Sorry if there's any ambers in the chat, but all the ambers I knew were just gossiping little.
I know some who aren't.
Yeah.
They're just not people.
They weren't.
Being
they weren't my
enough
friends.
To you.
King size bed and a laptop is a good night. On most nights, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Yes, it's usually on Saturday night. It definitely is. Oh, Lace, I'm sorry. You still got it, huh? She can't smell or taste. She got the thing. She had the thing. Just like Nikki, I'm just checking chats because they're all going fire. They're worse than us down there in the chat. I say down there in the chat, like we're way up here somewhere. But it just the way the chat is looking on my laptop, it looks like they're down there. They are worse than we are up here because we haven't even started any crazy stuff here yet. And they are is wearing garlic in preparation. Nikki. Nikki, now don't put Puddle on the spot like that, love.
Apparently, you need to check your Twitter too, Claire.
I have to check my Twitter from who?
Tiny.
Oh, okay. I'm checking Twitter now, Tiny. Hey, you guys talk. I'll check Twitter.
Oh, what
because
you check?
I'm all like messed up with
I think we need to have a planning session on how we're going to do these avatars once I've got it all sorted out. So, and we might have to use a bit of Peter's talent to get some of the artwork just right as well. But yeah, animated avatars, naked avatars is going to be cool.
Oh, definitely.
Peter, you
can't wait to see that.
Oh, you're still naked with a bear. Look at you. Welcome. Did you know?
So where's this amber chick? I want to have a smell.
I don't. No. It's an essential oil. And you can't. Unfortunately, avatars can't smell. You are so out of luck tonight. I just learned that Jen says there's a program that can animate avatars.
I heard that.
My brain exploded. The ideas, and my body got all prickly. Like this is exciting. The
problem is I think chat might be right. I know exactly where you're going to go with this.
Where am I going to go with this, Peter?
Well, this is YouTube, not RedTube. So you just got to be careful.
We can be careful.
However, you could make some money doing it.
Well, thank you, Peter.
Hey, Tiny.
Hey, Tiny, get your avatar, girl, or you're get out of here. No, avatar. All right. I'm sorry. I'm not being a bitch, people. It's just a rule for the channel. Sorry. Get your avatar on. All right. There you are. Now,
yes.
Got my avatar on. I just was excited. I went out to my first concert tonight since January 2020.
Awesome.
It was
that's nice.
Nice.
It was so weird. Weird good though. Weird good. It was just so weird. I felt like I was doing something bad not wearing my mask.
You didn't have to wear a mask?
We were all fully vaccinated. It was a fully vaccinated event.
I know, but I thought we still had to wear them. We still have to wear them.
Yeah, we do too.
Not for fully vaccinated. Like, we've done a couple events that are fully vaccinated events with like 5,000 people, and nothing happened. So, but it was so fun and weird, but it was fun.
Lacey says to you, Peter, that we are so willing to go wherever she takes us, Peter, wherever.
Oh, look, I'll push. I'll help her go in.
Oh, you go to.
I want Jen to take me wherever Jen wants to take me.
Oh, Jen.
I don't know what
we're gonna have to have a stream, just the two of us at some point.
I know, like I don't know what it is, but like I'm so magnetically intertwined with Jen.
I don't know. Mrs. Cassandra, I don't think so. That was Jen that turned me on with the avatar software.
See? Jen turns everyone on.
No, Jen just, she gets me mentally. You see, she just got me going.
Oh, that's the thing. I mean, a mental turn on is so much better than a physical one. And if you can get from the mental turn on to the physical turn on, you just got the jackpot there.
Yeah, you know what? I think I've said that to every single person on this panel at least once, if not twice.
Me.
You just don't remember, Tiny.
Maybe I probably don't.
And now I'm really insulted that you don't remember, and I just cut your time to 10 minutes from 30. So make it worth it.
You're so mean. Don't be mean.
I'm naked and
All right. I can be naked too. It doesn't make me more of a bitch. It makes me better.
But Claire, the thing is we wouldn't have you any other way.
Thank you, Peter.
I'd
Thank
rather
you.
be naked and be a bitch than be naked and be like.
Could you stop calling me a bitch on my own show? I really like that. I would really like that. I mean,
the nicest way possible. I don't know what else I could call it.
She's saying you're a nice bitch, Claire. And I agree. You are a really nice bitch.
Yeah. Nice bitches. I love bitches. Like, for real. I love people that can own their shit and talk their shit. So
you had a good night. You had a really good night. I'm hoping you stay in a good mood.
I am in a good mood. I'm gonna stay in a good mood.
That's good. Peter, they're remarking on your
Claire. I mean, like, bitch in the most flattering way possible.
I would give you the same advice I'd give any guy that was trying to talk to me like that. Kind of keep the flattery and don't put the bitch in there. You might.
Yeah, but I ain't here to try picking you up. I'm talking to you like I talk to my friends. Like, bitch, I love you. You know what I mean?
You're getting rid of my. You're putting.
It would be the same thing here, Claire. It's like, hey, bitch, how you going? And it's meant, you know what Australians are like.
I know.
If you call someone a cunt here, it's usually a term of endearment.
I know. I've heard that. Because in England,
my endearment is calling people bitches. Like, you guys are my bitches. I love all of you. It's not just Claire. Meg, you're a bitch. Jen, you're a bitch.
Thank you.
I don't know the guy, but you're a bitch too.
Oh my god,
Peter, she don't know you, dude.
So I'd just like to point out, I'll do this by asking Jen a question.
Yeah.
How do you know if an Australian likes you?
They throw drop bears at you.
No.
That's what I heard.
Usually, if you get called, it's in the tone of the voice, but usually you'll be called a bitch or a cunt or you fucker or something like that. If they are being polite to you, ultra polite to you, that means they hate your fucking guts.
Yeah, they will generally insult you to your face.
Yeah.
They will insult you to your face. They will put you down with the tone of voice of a joke.
What's a cunt twat?
Oh, pity you, shithead.
Exactly.
I've been called a cum twat before.
I love that.
I'm not sure I feel like it sounds funny, so like I want to take it as a compliment, but
Do you?
I don't know.
I mean, it's the best way to overcome people who want to throw insults at you. Is you go, they throw an insult and you go, "Oh, cool, thank you," and they're like, "What?"
No.
It just totally derails it.
Oh, no. So now I gotta worry because they pick on me over there, Jen. You know they do, but they're nice
Yeah,
to
but
me
that's
at the
because we
same
love
time.
you. Oh no, we're
Nope.
nice to you too, but we pick on you because we love you.
If an Aussie doesn't pick on you,
You know what I'm gonna
Aussie
do?
doesn't
The next time I
They
get
don't-
them demonetized. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
I was
Go on.
just saying, if an Aussie doesn't pick on you, that means they don't like you.
So
if you're with a group of friends and they're being really nice to you for a change, I mean, ultra nice, you've pissed them off somehow.
ultra nice.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. There's nothing worse than going out with some of your girlfriends and they're all being nice to you. There's no one who's saying anything bad, and you go, "Crap, I've done something."
I'm mad.
I know. You know what I'm gonna do, Jen? The next time I'm there, because you know every time I'm there, they're gonna get demonetized. But I'm just gonna ask them straight out why they haven't called me a cunt yet.
But you got so upset I called you a bitch.
No, no, I didn't. I was joking, girl.
Oh, you were joking. Okay, I'm really bad with sarcasm. Come on. I know it's funny.
Did you just say you're too drunk for sarcasm?
Yeah, I think she just did. I think you know.
I'm really good at doing sarcasm. I'm really bad at reading sarcasm.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a thing. It's a thing, people.
Okay.
Yeah. Also,
But-
someone else asked me why I don't have a little nudie person up here. I found my thing.
Okay. So, would you guys like to talk about cougars? We were talking about cougars in the back room, right,
We're
Jen
talking
and
about
Megan?
cougars,
We were.
yeah.
And I'm really curious.
I hit on a couple cougars tonight.
Well, what's the youngest person, the age difference that you've had between somebody you've dated and yourself, either
16
them being
years.
older or younger?
They were 50, or wait, no, they were 45 and I was 30, so 15?
Hmm.
I
like
was
older people, except
35,
there's-
36, I can't remember, and they were 21. So,
Yeah. Oh,
I think
don't
it was
go younger. I'm 33.
Younger. He was
I don't go
younger.
under 25. There we go, guys. Look, I got my nudie.
oh
Yay!
great naked avatar. That's great.
There you go.
That's great. How about you, Megan? What was the biggest age difference?
10 years younger, the guy was.
Oh,
Mhm.
you're a cougar. You're a cougar. Oh, Peter?
Wait,
were you
Wait, are they cougars then?
Manthas.
Manthas? I know you wouldn't be a cougar, Peter, but were you a mantha at any time?
Manther.
15 years.
15 years. So you were 15 years
same as
older.
me.
Did you ever date an older woman?
The older woman now. That's a.
Oh,
That
would?
that would have been about 10 years. Yep.
Yeah, so you
No.
did. You had yourself
So
a
you've
cougar.
been cougared and you've also been a mantha.
I think
Yeah.
I've been the same then too,
Look,
but
And
except I
see,
will not
my
go
opinion.
15 years younger, obviously. That would be
Hey,
illegal.
Tiny, if somebody's talking, could you please let them finish?
Oh,
please?
I didn't know. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. You're welcome.
My opinion is age is just a number. However,
Unless it's illegal.
it's a number that needs to be somewhat stringently.
All right, I am that bitch today. Sorry, guys. Go ahead, Peter.
But it's a number that needs to be somewhat stringently watched. I like that. There's a golden rule out there that's something that goes along the lines of half your age plus 7, which I think works well.
Does it though?
That is,
Well-
I saw that online. Half your age plus 7. Yeah.
Yeah, so it does work well, particularly for men, to keep them out of trouble.
Okay.
Because half your age plus 7, generally speaking, will keep a man from getting into too much trouble. Because look, there's a lot of, even with consenting adults, a cougar can get away with stuff that a mantha will bring up a lot of disdain in the community about.
Well, you see that with the cases of the couple of cases that we've had of 30-something women teachers who've dated their students, and a lot of the people in public are going, "Oh, yay, high five to the student." But if that was a male teacher dating a young female student, that's pedophile. That's being a pedophile.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the thing with a man in comparison to a woman is that term may get thrown at him, particularly if he's like, if she's of legal age of consent, and most places it's around that magical age of 18, as an adult, and that's what I'm talking about, being an adult, you turn 18. If say a university teacher or whatever was to date someone that was of legal age, that term pedophile would get thrown around.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're not a child.
Right. But I think it's more about the power, the influence too, if it's teachers or things like that. I was talking to somebody this afternoon about it. If it was a young guy and he was going after his female teacher, he'd be bragging about it, and the guys would all be joking, and they would be like, "Yay, good score." He wouldn't feel so taken advantage. But if there was any whiff of a male teacher going after a younger girl student, he would be like arrested immediately. It's like a double standard. It's like they don't automatically think the woman is going to do it. With a high school student. As often.
How often do you see though the younger girl / student completely smitten and overtly flirting with a older man? It is something that occurs quite regularly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the men's fault if anything happens.
But that's the thing. That's another thing that they were. The person I was talking to was saying that the younger women will throw them at themselves at them, and because they want the attention. Sometimes it's just for the attention, to feel wanted or needed. Other times it's for things. If it's a well-off older gentleman, like a sugar daddy situation or something like that. And yet. And here's the thing. I'm going to really disappoint you people. It's just not about sex tonight. I'm going to bring science into it. I'm going to hell. I know it.
You told us before you were going to do that, Claire.
Because I just can't. Because here's the truth. The men are biologically, it's not their fault. Okay, I'm going to stick up for men here. Peter, don't get a big head. Or if you do, just take care of yourself. And,
got to be careful.
If you get a big head, Peter, remember to stroke it.
But here's the thing. You need to do that to your ego, Jen.
Okay.
Oh, you can do that to my ego anytime.
Yeah, you can do it to my. Hey, I love my ego stroked. I love the attention for sure. I'm not going to deny it. But here it is. The men are biologically. It's just in their DNA, whatever you want to call it. I don't know the scientific terms, but sometimes it's just not their damn fault. They are meant by who we are, man and woman, for them to reproduce. They're just genetically gonna go for the younger, more fertile female every time. Just like a woman is gonna go for the more stable hunter-gatherer, so to speak, the one that can provide for us and take care of us, the steady man. It's just something in our DNA. And yes, the world is changing. And no, I'm not, from the 1920s, and don't come for me, people. It's just there. It's just there. It's in our genetic code. It is. And we are growing as the human race against it, but not that fast. These things take over. So, It's just going to happen. And I don't think that they should be penalized for it as much. Men can produce children many years past when a woman can. So who are they supposed to go to? I mean, of course, they're going to be going to the fertile women to keep producing. It's just the way it goes, right? Yeah. Now, if you don't want to have... Right. You know, that's not to say that there aren't great partnerships with people of the same age and everything. There are. I'm not talking about relationships. I'm just talking about, you know, predisposed sex. Right.
But because, I'm just talking about... Sex is a bonus part of a relationship, but it's not the be all and end all of a relationship. If your relationship is based purely on sex, then you don't have a proper relationship. You've just got a fuck buddy. And there's nothing wrong with that. Having a fuck buddy is quite fun at times, but don't mistake just having sex for a relationship.
Exactly. I can tell you that that's the bonus part. You get along with somebody, you know, mentally, they're stimulating you. They got a great sense of humor. You're talking for hours and hours and hours, and you just feel like they're filling in all your crevices. And then if you get to have great sex, bonus, you know, a bonus, you know, but it's not everything. Okay. But the science of it is like, you know, it's more towards manthers. Manthers exist for a reason, and it's out there. And I would think it would be more popular, but they get judged for it a little too harshly. Okay. And then the other point, the biologically, women, it's a fact, will get into our sexual prime in our 40s after we get to that point where we're not having children anymore. And that's because we're predisposed to be caretakers and take care of the kids and have the children and all of that, you know. Oh,
Paula. I'm sorry, Paula.
Yeah, I'm sorry too.
Yeah.
I'm
so sorry.
I'm very sorry, Paula. We're just predisposed to take care of people, to be caring, you know, more emotional. When we get into our 40s, some of those hormones slow down a little bit, but other ones pick up and we become sexual beasts. No doubt about it. I mean, I'm just speaking for myself here. I know many of my friends are of that age or a little older now, and we know exactly what we want. We are free to do it. Yeah. We don't have children to take care of. Everybody's out of house. We can do it when we want, how we want, as often as we want, and
in whichever room we want.
Right. Right. I mean, no, don't even get me started with that stuff. That's a whole nother show. We'll do
on the bottom of the car beside the freeway.
No, just stop. You see, you get distracted. I'm getting distracted enough. Okay.
I'm just telling good stories.
All right. I'm sorry. Something was going on that I had to take care of, and I apologize, chat, and I apologize to my guests because I did get distracted, and it wasn't just the sex. It was something else. Who would have thought it was actually something else than the sex? But it's just, we are actually predisposed for that condition. And then, and often as men get older, they slow down a little bit. So it's not often that our partners, sometimes they're mentally there and they're willing to try new things, and you just got to work together and get it through. But there can be a little bit of tension. They call 7-year itch. You know, men go for younger women, and then the women are just not satisfied when they're older. It can be complicated.
I really hate that term 7-year itch. I mean, if you had a 7-year itch, you should go and see a doctor.
Right.
You know, there's something I did read. Did you ever read those articles, Jen, where they're telling you that our whole body changes within 7 years? The way our hair is.
Yeah,
well, that is
almost,
actually the.
Well, it's an average. Some parts of our body, some parts of our body take a little bit longer. Some things are really quick. But on average, every 7 years, we are a whole new person. Every cell in our body has been replaced by new cells. That even counts for the brain as well. I mean, people say, "Oh no, your brain doesn't change." Yeah, it does.
It does.
Still have to build new. The body still has to build new cells and things like that. The brain is a lot slower because it has to try to maintain those neurons links and things like that, which is really, really difficult to do, which is part of the reason why our memory gets more fuzzy as we get older. Also, the way that our memories work is part of that as well. But yeah, basically we're whole new people. So the person you are now is not the person you were 7 years ago. It can't be, because you're entirely a different set of molecules.
No, and that's what I was reading, and that's the basis behind that 7-year itch, because everything changes. And so there are the way you're thinking, the way you look, the way you smell. Did you know, like, you can be attracted to your partner? Some of your part of your relationship is how you react to each other, your pheromones,
because of how much our change, like even down to because of those changes in things, it's not perfect. So as I was saying, it can change the way you taste. It can change the way you, not the way you well, but it probably does change the way you smell. But I mean, lots of other things change the way you smell more than actually as other people would sniff you, but change the way that you smell other things, so that your ability to sense smell changes over time, as does your ability to taste things. But even the way we think about things changes, because of the chemistry changes that change in our brain, and the way our memories change, because not only have we accumulated more memories, so more experiences changes the way we react to things. Our ability to recall earlier memories and how they affect us changes. Not only that, every time we recall memories, our brain rewrites them. So because that's how our memories work. So it's not like a computer system where it's just stored permanently magnetically on a disk or in ones and zeros. Our brains, to actually read back through memories, basically replay them and then re-record them. So, and there are tiny changes that happen to our memories as we do that, which is why you can talk to somebody who you both have experienced something, exactly the same thing, and you'll remember it slightly differently because of the perspective you had on that memory, because our perspectives do those memories. But over time, if you recall those memories years later, they could end up vastly different as memories, because when you've replayed it, it's been different to how they've replayed it, and it changes, and it's still real to you. You're not lying about how you remember that memory, but it won't be accurate to how the thing actually was.
And it's all fascinating, and I love that stuff, and that I can actually apply it to cougars and manthas, and just anything. Every week we're adding it to it, because I love actually looking all of that stuff up and trying to figure out the reason. But definitely the reason behind the 7-year itch, whatever the excuses, things just change. And if you're not adaptable, and not to bring get all serious about it, but when it comes to relationships, all it is communication and compromise constantly, like every minute, every hour of every day of the week, every week of the month, every month of the year, every year of your relationship. That's the constant you have to keep up, because whatever attracted to you in the beginning, you're gonna have ebbs, you're gonna have highs and lows and ebbs, and long periods of just everyday life. And everybody knows that's like a rat race, right? You're like a hamster on a wheel half the time. If you've got to work, if you're young enough to have children at home, or you're in a committed marriage and you're raising kids and working jobs, there's not a lot of time to work on couple stuff and all of that beginning, whatever you had in the beginning. And so, it takes a lot of communication and compromise. And if you get there, you'll get to your later in life. And if you're a gentleman, you'll be blessed with a very horny wife or a very horny girlfriend. Okay. And if you're, and if you're willing to, if you're willing to put in a little effort or get a sex swing, hey, here's my recommendation. Okay. If you're in a long-term relationship, okay. I thought about this all day. Just hear me out. Just hear me out.
So Claire's been thinking about age gap sex.
Can I just say something about that though, Claire?
Yeah.
If people are going to go out and get themselves a sex swing, please don't install it yourself. Get a tradesman or a handyman around to actually attach it to your rafters.
Yes. Are you talking from experience, Peter? Have you had
No, just from a few things that I've read.
Okay.
Can I just I want to touch on the pinned link that you've got on at the moment.
Yes, go ahead.
So obviously she's talking about
she said, I don't know if they still have it, but they used to have a matchmaking service with pheromones.
Well, I know, and I've read a case study that a group of scientists were doing, and they actually had this very attractive, shall we say, a man that had a lot of charisma, for want of a better word, that didn't have a problem with the ladies.
Okay.
And they collected his pheromones, and they put it, instead of having on this super attractive person, they used the pheromones that they gathered and synthesized on these other people. And these other people all of a sudden became instant sex magnets. You know, the pheromones play a lot more than people realize. But the thing is they only work in that first part of the relationship when you're first getting to meet someone. Once the you know, you could call that the chemistry if you want, but later on, once you start to get to know the person, that person's individuality is the stuff that will convince you if it's going to be a long-term relationship or anything along those lines. So although the smells, and yes, they do change over time, the pheromones do change over time. You know, although smell is so very important in the beginning of a relationship, later on it's more of the person themselves.
Mm-hmm. That's what I think. I think it's the initial attraction, but then it's definitely what keeps you there is the interaction, right? I mean, there's obviously something, whether it be looks or a smile or a gaze or whatever it is that attracts you in the first place, but the interaction, the one-on-one.
It's got to be their brain.
Right.
You know what? I hear that. I thought I was alone with that. I thought I thought it was a little weird until I started hanging out on YouTube and found out that most of my friends, and I'm saying even my men friends, okay, we all like to have mental sex first. Like, we all want to get we want to have intelligent discourse and hear laughter and have humor and just relate with people first before. And that's what I'm hearing over and over, because I talked to a lot of people about this kind of this subject, because I'm fascinated with it. I got a whole show going on about it and all of the aspects of it. And I like to talk to everybody about it. And everybody's saying the same thing. It's all about engaging your brain. Like, you don't relate on that level, nothing's going to happen, because we're not in our 20s anymore, most of us.
Well, it's like Purple just said in the chat. It all depends if you are looking for someone for sex or if you're looking for someone for a long-term relationship. You know, the concept of you can literally have a one-night stand with anyone. If you don't necessarily like what they look like, you can turn the lights off. You know,
right.
a body's a body.
Yeah, but that's a different type of sex.
That doesn't work.
Yeah, that's a different type of sex. That's sex for sex, and that's totally different. Like, that's not what we were talking about, right? But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's all that lead on attraction, and in the end, the whole concept of these pheromones or all of that being something to attract you to someone, but what keeps you there is the intellect, the intellectual match. You know, so if it's someone that you can have a conversation with, if it's someone that you can have a disagreement with without it turning into an argument, you know, all of these things are so important for a long-term relationship.
No, absolutely. I agree. Purple without orange is saying it depends if she's looking for someone for sex or for a long-term relationship. But she had a follow-up comment here to that, and that I just read. Although most of my best relationships started with sex first and developed into more over the course of several months, and that can happen. I mean, that's what keeps you there. That's what ends up keeping you there.
It can go both ways. You can start with sex and end up in a relationship. But I've had friendships that ended up with sex and as a relationship at that point as well. So
Illuminati says the same thing. I haven't been single in a long time, but I still needed to be somewhat stimulated mentally to hook up. I hear you. You can be with someone for a long, for a period of time, and you still, even though you're not single, there's something that needs to trip you. For me, sometimes we'll be laughing. My partner and I will just be laughing about something hysterical that happened, or we're telling a story about something, and bingo, bango, there you go. It just turns into something else. You got to take your moments, but it's always, something mental. Like some of our conversations, my God, the things that we talk about mentally stimulating, they just, it gets me there. I'm that weird girl. Yep. I'm that weird girl. It just takes a little more than, hey, baby, it takes a lot more than hey, baby.
What you doing? Do you like stuff?
Do I like stuff?
Should we do stuff together?
I'll be honest. Like, so everyone remembers Friends. I always had this thing for the way that Joey, shall we say, approached a woman for the first time. It was always that very nonchalant.
How you doing?
How you doing?
But it was the look that went with it, Peter. He looked at you. He looked you down. He looked. His eyes went down and his head went down, and he's like, "How you doing?" It was a whole thing. Not that it worked.
Having a guy walk over to you in the bar and go, "Hey, baby, what you doing?" is so not right. If you don't know them, it's no.
And let's be honest, Jen. There's really two ways that you can play that game at the bar. You can either be confident or you can be overly confident.
Overly confident, yeah.
And if you're neither one of those, you haven't got a chance. If you go up all meek and shy, there's a good chance that you're going to get a no. So you have to show that you're confident. And sometimes it's working out that magical in-between path where you're confident without showing that you're overly confident. The simple act of seeing what a woman's drinking, going to the bar, to the bartender or the waitress and saying, get her another one of what she's drinking and tell her it's from me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just that simple act, just a drink. And that will spark the interest, so sometimes...
Yeah, you can be nice about it, but the guys who are overconfident and just walk up and, hey, baby, how's it doing? Nice to hear you go.
Yeah.
No, go away.
Hey, Geoff, how are you?
Hi, Geoff.
Hi, Claire. Hi, Jen. How you doing?
How you doing?
That
one was for Peter, I'm sure. That was definitely for Peter. No, but I hear you, Peter. It's true. I can tell you a little story about that. In a relationship, and we were. He was friends with my sister's significant other, and very polite, but walked up to me in a bar. I was on a pool team of all things. Yeah, don't judge people.
Ain't nothing wrong with pool. Pool is
no,
awesome.
It was like I needed
raised in my estimation now, Claire.
And you know what? Pool's all about math, Jen. That's all it is.
It is. That's why I love it.
and so hey, anyway, so I was on the pool team, and he slides up to me and says, "Hey, darling, can I buy you a drink?" Okay, so now he's got manners. I don't like being called darling. Everybody knows about the honey story, right? But I got a little chip on my shoulder about that kind of stuff. So I just look at him and I go, "Yes, you can," and that is it. And he goes, "Fine." I offered the drink. Here's your drink. He brought me the drink, and he just left me alone. And we became friends because he was polite. He bought me the drink anyway. It wasn't like I want a drink, but I have to have a conversation or I have to be able to do that. It wasn't like that. It was he offered the drink. I got the drink. He just delivered it and he walked away from the table. And that was it. And so then
the only irritating bit was the "Hey, darling."
Well, the "Hey, darling" was why I said, and that's it, because I wasn't,
I would have done what you did.
It was he didn't do anything wrong, but he was too smooth for me. Like, it was too smooth. It was I was got, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, I hate that when you have people in stores who do stuff like that. You know, I mean, it's their job. They have to come up and help you. But the instant treating differently if you're a woman in a store looking for something than a guy who's doing it. Because I have had them come up and say, "Hey, darling, can I help you with that?" And I'm not your darling.
And it's really nothing wrong with what he said. Absolutely.
No,
but
what me? I don't like it.
Right. Well, the good thing is that he picked up on the cue. He knew he was going to get judged, right? And that this wasn't going to go well. And so he backed off. He took my no. And he still was very nice to me afterwards. We saw each other around all that. We became really, really, really good friends, to the point where we were always talking to each other about everybody else we were dating. And then we ended up together like 10 years later. And it's still a very good relationship. So
does he still call you darling though?
Hell fucking no. Are you kidding? No.
See, I would be the same. I do not like being called darling. That's not a good one.
There's a place for it, and I know some people like it and everything. Because I was in the business world, I just got turned off on that stuff very quickly.
I think my thing's exactly the same, Claire, because of working in the IT industry. If anybody ever came up to you and said, "Hey, darling," or whatever like that, it was usually condescending. It was to be condescending. It was like, you're a dumb little blonde. Go away. Let the guys talk. And I've had customers do that to me as well. And no, darling, go and get one of the experts from out the back. I am one of the experts from out the back.
I hate that.
I literally said that to somebody. I am one of the experts. And they still insisted I went and got one of the guys. I went out the back, got one of the guys to come out the front, and the person talked to the guys and go, "I'll just go get Jen again for you because she's the only one who knows anything about that."
I got that all the time.
I was about to say, Jen, that's when you go and get one of your underlings that don't know shit. So
nobody did. I was the only person who was expert in that bit of technology, so it had to be me. So
I was going to say, sorry.
Go on.
I was going to say, I get a similar reaction. I don't particularly like that being sort of said to me. I actually have like the Captain Darling twitch out of Blackadder if someone says that to me, like, hello, darling. I'm just like,
yeah, no, I don't blame you. I don't like it. John says, I'll never liked hookups. Even if the sex was good, it still feels like an empty experience to me without an emotional connection. I can relate to that. But there is a place for that. I do agree there's two kinds of sex, and they're both valuable at different times. They have their place. They definitely do. Sometimes you just want to have sex. That's it. Yes, women do just sometimes want to just have sex. At least some of the ones that I know, and myself, I'll admit it. Yep, sometimes it's just sex. But, I understand how you feel, John. I would prefer the other all the time. Sweet Home Alabama says, I pointed out to my husband that every time something bad has happened, we end up having sex on those days. Example, he got fired, and right after he told me we did it. Because it makes you feel better. I can understand that. Because, listen, I had a stream about the benefits of orgasm for both parties, okay? The mental well-being, it helps with depression. I can tell you for a fact it helps with long-term pain. Hear me, people. It helps if you have chronic long-term pain. There are certain chemicals that got released in your brain that will make you either not care about the pain as much or help you deal with it, or even make your pain medication work better. That's fact. I checked it out.
I've literally had a conversation in the past where I've actually come home and said I've had a shit of a day, and my partner said, do you want to talk about it? I said, no, let's fuck.
Endorphins are
literally that.
Go on, Peter.
I was just saying, endorphins are a wonderful thing, and they are designed to make you feel good.
They do. The same ones when your brain gets stimulated and, you know, and you're having an intellectual conversation, or you're laughing really hard, or you're having an orgasm. They're all tied together. Just don't laugh during your orgasm. People get offended. I found out the hard way.
Well, I told you about when I went on a date with I dated him a couple of times before we actually had sex. So a young Asian guy, and we were getting into the foreplay and things, and I said to him, are you ever going to put it in? And he goes, I thought I already had.
Oh no, Jen. Oh no. Oh, Jen,
yeah.
I don't think he appreciates you just retold that.
He really didn't. We never saw each other again. And he was a really nice guy. I mean, granted, he was quite small, but he was a really, really nice guy. And I was like, I fucked that one up.
I'm gonna say it again. That has never mattered to me. If they know what to do with it and they do it right,
exactly.
I'm perfectly fine. But
he was also inexperienced. Another time when I dated somebody significantly younger than
there's some multiple issues. I think we should just forget about that. That's an experience you need to just forget about.
Oh yeah.
Mental note: don't take Jen out on a cold day.
No, don't. No,
Peter, I'm sure you wouldn't have that problem.
No freshwater skinny dipping with Jen, you know, off season for sure.
I mean, as an example, because we were talking about it before the stream started, that guy was quite small. He was like legitimately like, and I'm not gonna name names because that's rude, but like little finger size. I was quite surprised by how small he was, to be perfectly honest. And the guy who was biggest was actually 12 inches. And I'd never seen a penis that big before.
Wait a minute. That actually exists? I thought that was just enhancement to porn stars.
He was enormous.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll just sit quietly in the corner then.
I'm just gonna say maybe I'll put it on the list to see before I die, but I don't know. I'm not. I'm perfectly happy. Don't get upset.
Oh yeah. I mean, to be quite honest, my preference is for a guy who's about average, you know, as long as he knows how to use it. But yeah, that was mind blowing. It's exactly like you, Claire. I mean, we could have ended that relationship straight off too, because my first thing was, my God, these things exist.
I'll say this, Jen, and as a guy that, you know, I've got no understanding of any woman because I'm just a guy, you know, because that's the way it works.
That's not true.
The book's too big for me to read. And
sorry, Peter. You know that's bullshit too, because you do well talking to women. So stop it.
You know, like look, I know some women like that. Shall we say, a sensation of being completely full. However, I don't think I would like the sensation of having my lungs punched. You know what I mean?
That's true.
The reality is. The vagina on average is only about 8 centimeters deep. It can stretch, but it's only about 8 centimeters deep.
That's why I'm not worried about that.
If you've got a penis that's incredibly long, what you're doing is you're pushing your cock up against the cervix, and that's not necessarily the most painful. That
can be painful.
Pleasant experience. Yeah,
right.
It can be painful. So having sex with a guy who's very large is not necessarily the best thing.
And being from the guy's point of view now, generally speaking, a guy would necessarily, for full sensation, want full penetration. And,
exactly.
You know, that would be somewhat uncomfortable, I would think.
It sounds like it. I think it could be awkward. I think you need a sex swing. It's my answer to everything. I'm going to talk about that. No, like, you gotta know the benefits. It's not so perverted. As you get older, okay, listen, like, I have pain. I have a balance issue, okay? These are things that can affect your sex life, right? You don't want to be falling all over the place or jerky movements or things like that. And what if somebody has an injury or something? I mean, I've had a broken ankle and I've had a broken leg. And did I want to give up having sex or have to do something awkward or hit somebody with a cast. I mean, that's dangerous. You know, these things happen. You hit your partner with the cast, not really pleasant. So let me just tell you the things that when you start to deal with leverage and balance and taking weights off things, I'm just going to tell you, your sex life can get incredible. You can get freer. You can do things you never thought you could again as you got older or you were injured or whatever. And why shouldn't you? It's just a swing. It's in the privacy of your room. You're with your partner. It's just sex, people. Don't be embarrassed. I mean, I didn't have as embarrassing a situation about it as my friend did, who very bravely told her story out on one of our streams one day. About somebody discovering her swing and having to explain it. But, you know, I wouldn't have that issue. You know, it just like Peter said, make sure that it is secure, you know, so you don't fall on your ass. But, you know, I would think that I don't know why gentlemen, and I'm not judging Geoff or Peter, because I don't even know how they feel about sex swings, because contrary to popular belief, I do not call them ahead of time and tell them all the shit that we're going to talk about up here so that they're prepared. You know, we just throw it at them.
We just like seeing them squirm. That's all.
No, we just, you know, they've seen the show, they know what to expect. I mean, everything just falls out of my mouth, but it is actually
You should really have more control than that, Claire. You know they prefer it if you swallow.
No, I was shut. Oh, Jen, stop, please. Oh God. Oh, I'm just gonna pay. I'm gonna pay for that one.
Can I just say this along those lines, there, Claire? And you know, not all men are built like, shall we say, these Greek gods that are on. Well,
exactly.
I was going to say Greek gods that are on the TV. You know, like we're
right.
You know, the concept of pushing a woman up against a wall and having mad, passionate love, holding her legs up. You know, that's a wonderful concept. It's a great thing to get into your mind. However, the practicality of it, like you pointed out, people have injuries. They have back pains.
Right.
They have weak legs because of, broken ankles or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So the concept of being able to fulfill that type of fantasy in a way that's not going to hurt anyone, be it suspended from a sex swing in the middle of the room, it's an aid that makes and facilitates. Facilitates these fantasies, which both stimulates, both of your minds. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
yes. Yep.
So, are you pro sex swing then, Peter?
Been there, done that.
Okay, good. So you know what I'm talking about then. The way it takes the pressure and the weight off, especially for a man, is a good thing. And I'm just saying, it just makes different positions and different types and whatever.
Actually possible. There are some positions that are really hard to do without the use of
a sex
aids.
swing. Mm-hmm. And I'm older now, and there are things that I'm just not going to be able to do, but you could do in a sex swing, and you could do for longer and more often, and let's without hurting yourself.
Let's be honest with you, Claire. It's so much easier to have a sex swing installed into your house than to organise a saltwater heated pool at the right depth to perform the same positions.
You've got it.
Sex in a pool sucks, though. And it really does. It's completely overrated.
No, penetration in a pool sucks.
Okay, yes. Okay, penetration. That's what I meant. Penetration in a pool sucks.
So, yeah, because there's all kinds of sex. Peter's going to remind us.
Yes, Peter's correct.
All kinds of sex. Yes. As long as I'm finishing, I'm fine.
Sex on the beach sucks, though, as well.
No, sand. Oh, God.
Sand, and getting that shit out of your vag. Oh.
No, and I'm a shore girl, and I'm going to tell you, I never go to the beach. I haven't gone to the beach since I was a teenager, and I live here. I look at it. You ain't getting my naked ass on that beach. No way. No way. No, been there, done that.
I've got better things to do in my naked ass.
I do. I've got better things to to better places to put this naked ass than on that beach. I'll tell you that right now. Been there, done that as a teenager. Never, ever, ever again. I don't know. I think that everybody that comes down, like all the people from North Jersey and everything, come down here to the shore. They're all crazy. They're all crazy. I mean, they're just nuts.
I'm fairly well endowed. I got big tits, and there's nothing worse than getting sand under your tits and then getting a rash under your tits because the sand's
yeah, because it ends up putting all that sand all over your money, doesn't it, Jen?
No, I imagine it's just as painful for gentlemen.
I imagine getting sand all around your balls is not pleasant.
Yeah, no. And let's be honest, if you're doing the do down on the beach, the
there's going to be sand.
It's not like just,
and it's not a vajazzle.
It's not like just water and sand. It sticks there.
Yeah. It does.
So it's painful.
Yeah.
Oh, and the friction
is sandpaper.
Oh my God.
You are making sandpaper.
The walking home afterwards. Ugh.
You may as well go to the hardware store, buy some wet and dry, and wrap your favorite dildo in it, because that's what you're doing to yourself by having sex.
Oh God! Oh, that sounds painful. I have to change the subject now. That sounds absolutely excruciating. Here, that is. How did we get on this? Did I do this? Did I? I don't know.
You talked. Somebody brought up swimming pools.
Okay, well, definitely a swimming pool. Water sex is a yeast infection waiting to happen. And that's courtesy of my friend Lacey, and she knows. Because I get all my sex advice from Lacey. No, I'm sorry, Lace. I just had to pick on you. I know you're not feeling too good, but I just have to.
Yeah, and yeast infections are not fun.
Okay. John said it. I can't find the comment, John. I was going to put it up, but he said, Claire, why don't you turn that cast and crutches into an S&M thing? Yeah, I guess if I thought about it, I could have. That's actually a good idea. If it ever happens again, John, I'll keep it in mind. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to breaking another ankle or running over my own foot. But, if it happens, I'll keep it in mind. Look out, partner. You got things coming your way.
There you go, Jen. John just made the best comment for you.
The only sex on the beach. Yeah.
It's a drink, right?
Yeah,
that I could do.
Drink.
Cranberry and orange juice and vodka.
See, right? I'd have a sex on a beach with somebody of that type.
As long as if you were dressed.
Oh no, we could be naked just as long as we're out sitting on fucking sand.
Right. Oh, Lacey and Puddle. No, are we accusing Puddle of spreading sexual diseases? No, Puddle, we're not. Lacey's not. No. I guess I am Puddle, although I'm sure some Puddles are exceptional. Lacey Puddle is exceptional. I'm sure he is not spreading STIs all over the. I'm sure he's not. All right.
So I would suggest that Puddle is water-based rather than...
Right. Just think of him as water-based lube, ladies. He is not like he's not a yeast infection waiting to happen.
We can just call him KY for short.
No, Puddle, sorry. I didn't know. I didn't mean to get them started on that. No, don't come for me, Puddle, please. No, God. No, don't. Puddle's humor's wicked. Don't get him on me. This is, I could cry. I could cry very easily. We had a very good one today on Twitter. Did anybody see that stuff? That was hysterical. What was going on? Oh my God. Never mind. Okay. All right. No, Lace, I'm not going to be playing that. Oh, yes. About the crutches. Yes, I could have done that. That could have been like a lot of fun, but I didn't. Ooh. I am well chlorinated and can raise a smile, but not a loaf of bread. Good to know, Puddle. Good to know. There you go. You cleared that right up. I'm proud of you. Thank you. Don't let that go around there. Coconut Lace, you're just gonna keep that. I'm gonna stay out of it. All right, we're gonna move on. You guys carry on in the chat, and I'm gonna stay out
Claire
of it.
has officially lost it again.
I still have the pricklies all over me from the damn the animated avatars that are naked. Like, oh my God, I just can't even. And now I can't. I've been doing nothing but researching sex swings and cougars and manthas all day. And let me do that. Let me just, can I calm myself down with a presentation? Will y'all allow me to do that? Because I think I'm going to do that, if you don't mind. What do you say, panel? Did I lose you all? Is anybody still here?
No, I'm here.
I'm here.
You're here. Thank you, Peter. Thank you.
I'm here, but I'm starting to wish I wasn't.
Sorry, Geoff.
Look, how can we make you more comfortable, Geoff? Usually we tell everybody.
I'm fine.
It'll help if you take your pants off. That's what I tell everybody when they get here. It helps you breathe. It does. Because, never mind. Okay, I'm going to the presentation. Bye. Okay, I got to pull it up this way. So, I'm going to show you some cougars. We did research on cougars. We were talking earlier. The age for a woman to be called a cougar is like 8 to 10 years. But not all. I mean, some of them have been around for quite some time. Like, here's some examples. Did anybody know that Shakira, that lovely Colombian belly dancing rock infused musician Shakira, is a cougar? She's dating someone who is 10 years her younger. So is Janet Jackson, Courtney Cox. Demi Moore is a consistent cougar. And so is Susan Sarandon. And in England, Joan Collins is the most famous cougar. She only dated younger men, from what I understand. But this one fascinated me. Oh, where did it go? Well, it busted. Hold on.
You broke it.
Oh, my God. Oh, what happened to it? That's never happened before. I don't know. Nope. My other cougars were gone. There is a woman, Sam Taylor. I'll have to take it off. Her name is Sam Taylor Johnson, and she is a director, and she met an actor on Nowhere Boy, the John Lennon movie, the young actor there when he was 19 years old. She was 23 years his senior. She was in her 40s. And they actually, the year after that movie, they got married. They're still married now, and they have 4 children. And that is like, they've been together for quite a few years now. 13 years.
Just found.
The what?
You have to see this.
You want to put it? Okay. Is it on the cougar? I can't believe my presentation after I did that all day busted. What the hell is that? Is that like fisherman? See?
Yep.
California missing
hiker. Oh, not that one. The other side. Yeah. California missing hiker was held captive as a sex slave to a 200-pound female cougar. But
it's a real cougar. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
How do you have sex? Wait a minute. What does it say? Does it really? A California man who had been missing 2 weeks after a 3-day planned hiking trip was found alive this week at the southwestern edge of Yosemite National Park. Adam Labruski, 27, was found by rescuers this week after he managed to travel 26 miles with a broken ankle and no food for 13 days. Labruski, who was injured himself during the hike, had taken refuge in a cave where, little did he know, is a mountain lion was already living with her cubs. Labruski claims he was held captive by the mountain lion, who refused to let him leave this cave but did not harm him in any fashion.
I disagree with that.
You disagree with that?
One thing led to another, and I found myself having sexual intercourse with a 200-pound figure.
What he said, she didn't do anything to him.
She didn't do any harm, though.
Damn. Now, wait a minute, guys. Would you
I'd like to go, though. How does the female cougar force herself sexually on him?
You've seen their claws. Wait a minute. I gotta stick up for the guys here. Should that cougar climb on you with those claws and those fangs, what are you gonna do? I mean,
but it's not a male cougar, it's a female cougar.
Yeah, but she still has.
She would have been presenting to him, and he accepted.
No, she could have climbed on him, and he would have had fear, Dick. I'm telling you, and she would have had her way. That would have been teeth and claws. I can see that. I'm gonna defend them. There's no way that they pursued the cougar. There's no way. I'm gonna no. I don't see it that way, but I don't know. What do you? They're not even gonna talk at this point.
If he didn't give her what she wanted, she started to get aggressive. So he had to. Apparently, he had to. Although, to be fair, this article is in World News Daily, which is not a reputable news source.
This has gotta be fake.
Yep. Oh yeah, but it's brilliant, isn't it? And it totally fits in with the show.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's it.
I was going to say, I think it's best that we don't try to work out the mechanics of this. Really.
I already did. I don't know, Geoff. I don't know why. What are you afraid of, Geoff? Really? What are you afraid of? I would be afraid of the cougar for sure.
Definitely a scam thing, because they legitimately, their tagline is World News Daily, where facts don't matter.
Yes, that's it. That's definitely.
But I saw it and I'm like, oh, we got to read that because that's brilliant. Even as a fake news article, that's brilliant.
No, I was going to say, John is reaffirming with me that there was a 23-year age gap between Taylor Johnson and his wife Sam, and she was the director on that movie and in Kick-Ass that they starred in. Yep, it was a very good movie, and they're still together. And like that is one of the longest term ones that I saw that was successful for a cougar, like that actually was in a committed relationship. But Susan Sarandon also happens to always go for younger men, but she's a very intelligent, beautiful redheaded woman, older, that she just likes younger men. She always has. But thank you, John. What cougars eat people and not fuck them where I'm from. You're jealous? Lacey, this is why you're my boo. Lacey, this is why you're my boo, babe. This is why we get along so well. It's like,
what?
And Geoff, this is a boner killer, she said.
I was going to say, what exactly does she mean by eat them?
Yes.
I think this is true. This is true. Would you want a cougar like that? Like, I mean, that real mountain lion. Come on, you guys would not want those teeth anywhere near you, would you? I mean, would you? What kind of?
So I'd like to point out, everyone that's ever had a cat, we all know no matter how wet that cat's tongue is, it still feels like sandpaper when it licks your hand, doesn't it?
Exactly.
So I'm thinking it's not a good alternative either way.
Might as well be on the beach. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Right.
Wet and dry in a dildo.
I don't know. According to one or two German videos from Germany I've seen over the years, there might be some guys who might enjoy that.
Geoff, you've got varied taste in the video world here, I see. We might have to send some of that over for the next meeting. No, I'm only kidding. Don't. That's just where my mind went, of course. Anyway, I'm going to, on that note, thanks for that, Jen. Now that I can't even concentrate because I'm trying to figure out
how somebody can have sex with a cougar.
Exactly. Like how did that happen?
I love the fact that, it is very obviously a fake article, but I love the fact that people would have been reading that going, oh my God, this really happened.
I don't think it really happened, but I know you guys, I know Geoff said don't try to figure out the mechanics, but I really, really think it was what I said and nothing else. I really do. I don't care. He wants to think like he just did it willingly or whatever. I don't think so.
She was just presenting to him and backing up all the time, and he just couldn't help himself. It was just
no. I got to stick up for him. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I can't imagine the men that I know. Actually, no, I can't. I just can't. I don't know. I'm naive. What do you say? I can't. I think she did it the other way.
It really sounds to me of a case of, well, I tripped on the carpet and it just slipped in there.
There you go. See?
Yeah, it does.
There you go.
It really does. She was coming on to me and she wouldn't let me not do it. So I had to. It was the only way I was going to survive.
There you go. No, how am I supposed to carry
How many
on
times did this happen? Oh, several times a day.
This is it. Okay, so Leanne wants to know. This is a serious question, and I want everybody in the panel to come up with your best scenario. Please, just give me a little moment of grace here. Come up with your best scenario and answer to this question. Claire Bear, how did they get a 300-pound cougar into a sex swing exactly?
Forklift?
That's a good answer. That's a good answer, Jeff. How about you, Peter? You got an answer?
Just give me a moment.
Okay, Meghann, do you want to go?
They would have to have lots of help. I know that.
It's 300 pounds, but that's another thing. If there's weight disparity or height disparity, sex swings are great for that.
I've worked it out now, Claire.
Okay, go, Peter, go.
A lot of catnip.
Oh, great. So now we got a forklift, catnip, and carefully. Jeff, you got anything to add to that, Jeff?
Not massively, actually. No. I'm just gonna say that swing would have definitely needed to be put in by professionals. Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, that would need a steel beam.
I definitely agree with that, a steel beam. But say for height and weight disparities, they're also very, very good. I could come up with a million reasons why you all should get sex swings. As a matter of fact, for Christmas next year, there's quite a few people that may just get them. Because the research I did, all I kept thinking of was all the people it could help, like with different issues, because women talk like to each other about things, and like hen party, whatever. And even, I gotta be fair, even some of my gentleman friends that I'm friends with, I will talk to them about stuff like this, and they will tell me things, and I'm thinking they could use one too. There's many I want to send out. There's at least a dozen of them that I want to send out.
You do know, as a YouTuber, you could like put it on your wish list or something, Claire.
No, I will. There's an idea for a GoFundMe. There's 12 people I want to send sex swings to, so donate. Like, nobody would donate money for me to send sex swings across the world, like all over the place. Would they?
I think you'd be surprised.
I think we should.
So the trick there, Claire, is to look for the financial reimbursements for each of the person that donate and demand pictures of it being used afterwards.
That's coercion. That's illegal, Peter. That's illegal. I can't do that. Demand picture. Can I? Well, what if I demand the pictures upright first to get into the running to get the sex
But
swings?
the thing is they don't even have to be sexual. They're just using the swing. They could be clothed in the swing. So it's up to the person taking the pictures. It can be as tasteful as they want them to be.
And, but as a naked bear, that's not where my mind went. Like, that's not what I thought when you said that for sure. But you're right.
You know what I was thinking.
You were probably thinking naked too. Well, live action video. I don't know. It's just like, there's so many possibilities. But I'm just thinking that these things people need to explore more. They need to get more acceptable, and nobody should get embarrassed about having. And thank you, Lacey. It does sound like a good cause. I know you would help me promote that, wouldn't you? It is a good cause. But all right, it does sound like a good cause. They're agreeing with us in the chat. Do you guys want to?
Don't they? I mean, they're very compliant now. Your chat.
They are not. Are you kidding? They often are. Oh no, they're not.
You had to think about that for a second, didn't you?
Yeah, Crystal, you could be a cougar if you want. You just got to find out somebody 8 years younger than you and go for it. And you're a cougar. According to the research that I did today, every article, that's the age span. Although most people, when asked, think it's 10 or more. Although when you look it up, by definition in articles, it says 8. But most people think it's 10 or more.
To be honest. As long as you're both consenting adults, that would be my limitation. I mean, okay, we get creeped out if you see somebody who's in their 20s dating somebody who's in their 70s or 80s. But I mean, in honesty, people are in love, they're in love. So what?
Well, there you go. Because why should we care, really? Although I do admit I'm a little judgmental about it when there's a power differential. I do wonder and I do worry, but I don't think that's fair. I think power and influence, people in authority dating much younger people that they can manipulate is an issue.
But that's not always the case.
No, it's not. I don't think teachers should ever be able to date students. That's the power.
I agree. No, teacher. And I don't think that matters what the age difference is. You can be a young professor in a uni at a university, and you're teaching people, and they're only 5 or 6 years younger than you. You still shouldn't be dating them because there's a power dynamic there.
Yeah, and with power dynamic, it's hard because you can't overjudge either. Otherwise, every boss or politician or every professional person would never get laid again. It'd be terrible.
I mean, obviously, this has come up as a bit of an issue recently of power dynamics, and we won't mention any names here, but I think
go ahead.
Jen and Peter probably know who I'm talking about.
I know. I was on
someone
that
who's
stream.
Someone who's, should we say, a rather large YouTuber in the atheist community. That's become an issue that they may have been using their fan base as a dating pool and power dynamics that were going on there.
Yeah.
We won't mention
auditoriums full of young fans. We know exactly. I did the that time of the month with Cheshire on that exact issue. We named names. Yeah, we went there.
It's funny, Geoff. I'm doing a severe amount of research about that particular situation right now.
Are you?
Yeah, and it's it seems to be a ongoing situation with him. It's not just a once or a twice off, as some people may believe.
Yeah, I mean, I just brought up that because I don't want to get into a massive bash on that guy's stream sort of thing, but
I would.
I mean,
I think
we've all said it. We'll. I think most of us think he's a dickhead anyway. But
he's definitely a dickhead.
Enough said.
No, he's a Taja for sure.
I mean, seriously, yeah. Well, one of my least favorite people in YouTube at the moment, actually. I'm going to be honest.
But that does sort of bring up a whole thing of obviously, where power dynamics come in, do play into this stuff.
Right. It was like if you're dating only from your fan pool and undue influence and, people getting manipulated. When I did the update for Marilyn Manson when he was facing his charges, after I read all of the Instagram posts and all of the statements from everyone, all of the accusers, and these are only allegations, of course, he's not been found guilty of anything, but most of the time there was a big power thing here. That's why I did the video, because he was starting with them when they were like young, 16, 17, 18. Even if he didn't touch them till they were 21, because he's not an idiot, he started that relationship, that one-on-one manipulation very, very young. And that was definitely a power play. That was definitely, an undeveloped person's mind that he was dealing with. So, it was a little scary to see the outcome of that and some of the things that were done and said. People dealing with the repercussions every day, but they're all allegations. He's not been committed as guilty in any court of law as now. That's just what people are saying. Same thing with the other one.
Claire, I just want to point out what Purple's just said in the chat as well. That there's some people who started off as YouTuber and fan that are in very good and healthy relationships as well. So, so it's not necessarily a one side.
That's true. It doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be that, not at all. So
that's the thing, is you've got to find the line.
I didn't mean to interrupt your. Your train of thought. Then
you didn't. I was just going to call out a name I shouldn't have called out anyway. So don't worry about it. It was a good thing. It's actually when you bring that up, Purple, it's a very good because even though there's a power dynamic there, skewed one way or the other. It is how the relationship is that is the determination on whether that is taking advantage of the person or not. If it is a strong person, or there's a good relationship with good communication and compromise, like a healthy relationship, then of course, then it doesn't really matter. And there are plenty of professionals that are, dating people, politicians, everything. And of course they have healthy relationships. Not everyone is bad. It's when it gets used to control the situation or the person, or it's manipulative, that coercive is a word. When you have to doubt that actual consent is given, there, I said it. When it's so manipulative and coercive, and they're so starstruck that you can't really feel that they are giving actual consent. That's where the issue is, because it is a matter of whether they can give full knowledgeable consent or not to what's going on. But I agree, all levels of relationship can be healthy when they're addressed in the proper way. And just because he's dating from that pool, if he was only dating one or two, I could agree that could be healthy. But when it's one after one after one after one, and it's consistent and it's ongoing all the time, you wonder. But hey, who are we to judge? It's his sex life. I don't really care. You know what I care more about? That he's a shit human being. That's what I
exactly.
Because so it's hard.
And it's
for
not
me
just
to give
about
him
that. I mean, he's a shit human being in general. The other crap
in general.
He is purely a grifter.
Yeah, that's what I care more about. I think there's something going on with that other stuff, but that's just the icing on the cake. I mean, he doesn't make it easy. He doesn't make it easy for me to give him any grace in this situation whatsoever. So I don't know, because of everything else that he's done. But there you go. So I don't know how we got talking about that downer dude, but anyway,
it was mainly because we were talking about power dynamics, and I just thought that because that's a situation that's going on where power dynamics have been very much discussed quite a bit in certainly in our community, in the internet,
in several of my areas of community too. We're talking about it all the time. What I would like to do a stream, or have somebody do a stream where I can learn how somebody like that actually gets to be in a position of power, to have that kind of authority over people. I would like to explore that. Like, there are lots of good people with good big channels of influencing people and, doing the right thing. But more often than not, I'm seeing that the worst get to the top faster than anybody else.
And I've noticed that too, Claire. There's there's an expectation that you kind of have to I want to be an asshole, but you have to be prepared to exploit people to get yourself to the top. And I'm just not prepared to do that.
I get it on some level. Like you got to concentrate on doing certain things in PR and this, that, and the other thing, and you got to want it real bad. But I'm really, really hoping that you can get somewhere and still be a really, really good person, because I don't plan on being a shit human being. And if anybody sees me turning into something like that, please, pull my plug. Yeah, just pull the plug or something, because I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it.
I mean, and then definitely in situations like that where there's a little bit of fame or becoming recognizable and having a big fan base really quickly, like some people have had on this platform, it can't go to your head very, very quickly, and it probably you probably. Yeah, you can really, I think, lose yourself very quickly.
Yeah, they certainly go to that thing of I am the chosen one moment, don't they?
But then, like I said, you do have people who are just on this platform who are just the worst and absolute fucking predators. And I will mention a name here. Onision would be the most
no one would disagree.
I could think.
Yeah. No one would disagree with that.
Yeah.
That was awful. It's still awful. And they still get big. And everything about that.
There's been a few of them who've been called out, though. But I do have some issues with some of the aspects of people getting called out on on YouTube, and that's the fact that I don't agree with public assassinations of people. I am as somebody who's been raped, I am totally aware that it's not easy to go and report that you've been raped. It's a lot easier to try and walk away from it and forget it, because you bringing it up hurts, and it takes a lot of years to get over being raped. So it's not easy to do it, and a lot of people get away with. A lot of arseholes get away with rape just because it's so hard for anybody who's been raped to come forward. But having said that, I also don't like public assassination of people where the evidence hasn't had a chance to prove itself.
Right.
Because then we start becoming a society that you're guilty until you can prove yourself to be innocent, and I don't like that.
I got to stand with you on that one. I've seen too much of these famous people getting what do you call it? Me Too'd. Just everybody just lining up to take them down.
Yeah, that's my only issue with the Me. I think Me Too is great, empowering women to stand up and thinking, but to stand up and just tear people down in the court of public opinion instead of using that ability to take those people actually to court to have them convicted for the shit that they did, that to me is wrong. No, and I won't condemn. I'm not going to be one of those people who'll get up and condemn somebody until they've had their day in court. I've said this before. I had people harass me over Rolf Harris, Scummer, before, because I had people saying, "Oh, he's such a terrible person. He's dreadful. It's shocking what he did." He hasn't even been to court yet, people.
Right?
Yeah, he has now, and he was convicted. But at the time, I was like, "Fucking wait till he's gone to court."
Right. That's the thing. You got to be careful. Like, I'll do a video on something, but you're careful. You know, you put out both sides of it, and don't, if it's a legal case, you got to wait until everything. Like, I'll read the cases and get really excited about it, and I'll have opinion about it, and I'll be talking to somebody, and they'll be like, would you calm down? Like, you hadn't even gone to court yet. I get it. But, you know, I'm not going to be out there saying anything about it until
I mean, I don't think it's a problem people having their own opinions, but the media beating it up like this person is obviously guilty because 3 people came forward and said something. Well, yeah, just because 3 people came forward doesn't mean that it is enough to convict the person, because we don't know all the details, and there has to be evidence presented, and there has to be. Sure, there's rarely smoke without fire, but that has happened. And straight off the bat, condemning somebody without them having their day in court, I find almost despicable as the...
Jen, that's happened. I mean, that's happened this week. Well, just a couple of days ago, actually, in Britain. There's been I mean, okay, the person's been charged. That's not the same as convicted, but it's a Premier League footballer who's been charged with 4 counts of rape. But everyone's like, "Oh, he's guilty. I'm like, it just hasn't been a fucking court case yet."
Yeah, and by the press seeing it up, what they don't get is that this is prejudicing the case, because at this point a jury hasn't been selected. How do you now select a jury that is not being biased by the media?
But it's like a fine balance, because you also, like, they're worried about the victims too. Like, there are cases where there's like 27, 28 people coming forward about certain things, and they seem to think that that's worth bringing forward before everything is settled. And then there's ways that they do it. With Manson, these women brought it forward in a very, very public way. All over Instagram, all over Twitter, did news articles, everything, while they were filing their cases. And most of it was because they were past some of the statute of limitations, and they had to only do civil suits. They couldn't do anything criminal. And they just felt like they wanted the story out there, I believe. I don't know. I can't speak for them. The victims should have their own voice. I'm just going by, the amount of stuff that they put out there. It's hard. You don't want to say someone is guilty. I mean, you could talk about allegations. We can report on charges that are filed and We can, talk about the actual filings themselves and read them and all. But you have to always preface it with like, nothing is settled yet. These are allegations and they go both ways. So if you're going to read what the charges are filed or who's suing who, you got to read the other answer too. You got to put the other side out there when they put
you really
those
do.
papers forward.
And I know we've upset Jet's mum with this conversation, but I will answer what Jet said about what about the possible victim. Yeah. I'm not saying we ignore victims. You never ignore a victim. If somebody comes in and they've said they've been abused, they've been raped, you listen to them as though everything they're telling you is the truth. The God-set truth. If you're the police officer who takes that person's thing or the counselor or whoever else, you treat it as it's fact until it's shown not to be fact. But that's not the same as saying that the person that they're accusing is guilty until they prove themselves innocent. Because you can't do that. Because the law does not work that way. And the court of public opinion is working that way. It's saying, they've made an accusation against somebody. They're obviously guilty because all these people said something. No, it doesn't matter. You could have 100 people come forward and that person still deserves their day in court and still deserves the presumption of innocence until proven guilty.
Right.
I don't care how big or asshole they get proved to be at the end. They still deserve that presumption of innocence.
Right. Because, if you, Jet, if you go and look at the Manson video, you see all the victims' voices are there. But I still, during that video, had to say it was only alleged like several times because, he hadn't been convicted guilty. It regards that there are so many people that came out against him with it. And so many of the stories were the same. But when I took all of the victims and I made one picture with all of their faces on it, that's why I had to do the video, because there were so many of them and their stories were so haunting and they were so detailed, and the pain was there. Like you couldn't get through one sentence without feeling that something definitely was wrong there. Something actually happened to them. But, so we try to get the victims' voices out, but we have to be fair too. Nobody's disregarding the victims. And you'll see me, I love the process.
No, that's what I like about Me Too. What I don't like about Me Too is the media thing of this person's instantly guilty.
Right. No, like when it gets hijacked or when it gets hijacked for the wrong person. Right. Because then it doesn't serve the purpose that it needs to, and that is to protect the victims and give them
the
their
worst
voice.
part about it is because the chances are, when you've got that many people coming forward, that the person is guilty as hell. That is what the chances are. But if you have prejudices the case against that person in the public eye, in the media, you are almost guaranteed you are going to end up with a mistrial, because you cannot guarantee on having an impartial jury in that case. And that is where you have people walking free after being convicted because on appeal it was shown that they couldn't have a fair court case against them.
Right. Well, that happens very often here.
Time again. It does happen over and over.
Here in the United States, the media does play up this SARS and sensationalize it and makes it very difficult for due process a lot. I don't know how it is in Australia or in England right now, but here, would you agree, Meghann, that here we see it every single day? Every single day, the media is getting involved in legal cases.
Yep, and every day.
They are trying people in the papers. They are sensationalizing it. They're making it more difficult in the long run for victims. Okay,
it's the tall poppy syndrome. We like to knock people down a peg or two when they're sitting at the top of the ladder.
But we do, but
it's not good for our justice system, and it's got to the point, like I believe in New Zealand they're starting to look at changing. They're actually contemplating changing the law that in cases of sex crime you are now guilty until proven innocent. And I'm like, no.
Well, wait a minute, Jen. I hear your no. I hear it loud, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. So because in certain instances, if we're talking about I could see the benefit of it. Don't jump on me yet.
Okay.
Here's some benefit to it in my eyes. Okay, because here in the States, we see multiple offenders let loose way too often. So often,
I agree.
Okay, often a rapist will not be convicted until his 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th of rape. Okay, and that is atrocious. Okay, so if you tell me that somebody gets charged with rape and they're going to go on trial, okay, and then all of a sudden they get another charge against them by somebody else, then yeah, I think that maybe we should be considering them guilty until they're proven innocent, because, you know, more than likely. Serious cases, if it involves violence where a woman was beat, threatened, knives, guns, anything like that, with the rape, yeah, I think so, because you got physical evidence that went with it. And so I could see some benefit because it protects victims and future victims. Okay, so I can see they might be leaning towards it because of the violence.
Why people would think it's a good idea. I would personally rather better educated police officers and support people to help deal with people who are victims of domestic violence and violence in general, and especially rape. Part of the problem with the system is too terrifying for anybody to come forward and report. The pressure on you is that you as the victim are now guilty. You obviously did something to make this happen to you. And that is the most fucked up thing about our society. That was what Me Too was about, saying, hey, we're the victims here. We are not the guilty parties. We should have, and that was what Me Too was about. But what it became about was it became a witch hunt from the media. And that is my problem with it.
Well, it also did do a lot for legislation here in the United States.
Oh, I agree. It did. And, Me Too was good.
That's all in the video too.
The movement itself was awesome. It was the media around it that was vile.
Right. And I do agree that the laws have to change the way people get charged. I mean, since when do you have to have a sperm to commit rape?
Well, exactly, and I mean, there's been many times where they know the rapist occurred, but there's no sign of the sperm to prove who exactly. Who it was.
So why here in the United States does a positive rape kit almost always have to be there for a conviction?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
But it is a problem with the law, and that's where the law needs fixing. Where Me Too has to take its stand and say enough is. We need the law fixing. We need the way that this stuff. I'm not saying I don't agree with having guilty until proven innocent, but I do agree with having an easier time of being able to provide your evidence for being a victim of these sort of crimes, because the evidence isn't always there more than just one person's word over another. So we have to accept other types of evidence, and we have to have a form of trust there in people's in people's testimony that just doesn't exist, because mostly training. There's a lack of training in the staff who deal with this kind of thing.
No, and I'm gonna read Puddle's comment, because come for me, Puddle, because I get it. It's like, so on that basis, a person would be presumed guilty if a group of people conspired against them. Yes, I hear what I said, and I said yes, if there were multiples, then yes, you could consider. I get that that's not fair. What I would really like to see change, instead of something as drastic as what New Zealand is actually looking at, I would actually like to see stricter. And all right, here we go. I'm going to go First Amendment, and I'm really going to hear it for this one. But the way the media reports this stuff is actually part of the problem. And I think that needs to be a little more common sense. And since we can't make people use their common sense.
Yeah. I'll just interject here for a second. And I think, although, let's be honest, the biggest problem here is not necessarily the system, but it's the media involvement. And they see this type of stuff as their bread and butter. You know, hype and or drama creates views. And even on YouTube or no matter where you go, it's the same formula. If you can find something that's full of drama, you're going to get the views. And in all reality, something, in my personal belief, something with this type of situation, be it a situation where someone was either harmed, violated, or taken advantage of in a relationship, or even be it just an alley, maybe the problem isn't necessarily the law, but the problem itself is the media. And
I agree.
Maybe that is the factor that needs to be taken out, because if you take that media coverage away, instantly you don't have a biased jury. Instantly, no one has got any idea of the facts that have been presented or the non-facts that have been presented. So that person can get a fair trial and either found guilty or innocent. You know,
and I want to point out something else that I find absolutely horrendous in the country we live in, Aussie Baller, is that our media laws in Australia protect the accused. So you can't drag them in front of a camera and say, this is the person who was accused and everything. But you can drag the fucking victim.
No,
you can show up at their house with a fucking camera and say, this is the woman who accused this man of rape. What? How is that?
They can go down that. They can go down that. Allegedly, this person, and I'll show a picture, has accused this person of raping them.
Yeah.
And they can show the picture of the victim.
Yeah.
You know, that's wrong.
That literally comes out in the media as victim blaming.
It does.
In my mind, it's no different to victim blaming.
Right. And I think that the media is the complaint about what is being hijacked with the Me Too. There's nothing wrong with the Me Too movement. It is the hijacking of the media and other nefarious persons that makes it is taking away from the value of it, you know, because I don't want Jet to get the wrong.
It's not just this though, I don't want to sound
like
I'm getting on a high. I don't want to sound like I'm getting on a high horse here, but
no, please do.
Even if we look at the, shall we say the coof that's going around at this present point in time, how many media outlets are giving false information? How many media outlets are giving information that's detrimental to people, be it not wear a mask, the mask's a waste of time, or something along these lines? You know, I believe that the media should be held at a much higher standard than they are at this point in time, because they get away with turning a story into drama just for the sake of selling papers, as it would be.
And we've all seen the articles where they talk about a woman who was attacked, and then the next thing is, and she was wearing this. Like, what she wore was the basis of why she was attacked. We have all seen that. I mean, it's, from my point of view, the media is fucking disgusting when they deal with anything like this. And it's mostly because most of the media is run by misogynistic assholes like Rupert Murdoch, who should just hurry up and die already. You know, make the world a better place. Exit it, please, Mr. Murdoch. And this is my problem. It's all the misogyny that exists throughout, like, all those media outlets like Fox News and places like that are just saying, no, it's your fault, women, because you don't. Fuck off. Just fuck off right now. This is the thing that Me Too's fighting against, this bullshit. Let's
be honest here, Jen. When a media organisation can influence an election, you know that there's an issue.
Right. There, you know, and does anyone remember when media wasn't exactly like that? I mean, it was always a little bit, but does anybody remember like the Walter Cronkite days and actual real reporting and issues and showing both sides of something and not sensationalism? Like, am I the only one that remembers when integrity actually was part of what we read on a daily basis?
I remember when they played that integrity meant something. I can remember when we used to have stricter media laws where the media weren't allowed to go and point at people who were victims, that they weren't allowed to do these things. But for some reason, the big players in the media, like Rupert Murdoch, who have so much sway over politicians, have had that watered down so much now that they can go and fuck with the victims. And that's my problem.
No,
it's almost like you're a victim, you don't have any rights.
No, you need, that's where the law has to change the most, is in victim right protection.
Protecting victims.
I'll point out
because regardless of anything, regardless of whether the person who is 99% of the case, a person who shows up to report a crime because they've been a victim actually is a victim, regardless of whether the police find the right person to charge over it.
Exactly. Regardless,
they have been a victim. And I don't care if the incident that happened isn't enough to put the other person behind bars, because it could actually, because there are cases where there are mitigating circumstances to the situation that a court might say, that it doesn't, it's not that bad. It doesn't change the fact that the person who feels like a victim is a victim, because the fact that you have now felt violated or injured or whatever else, you're a victim now, regardless of whether the other person who was the instigator actually deserves to go to prison.
Right. No, I totally agree.
The imprisoning of the perpetrator is separate from, are you a victim? You have a solid argument with somebody and take a swing at somebody and hit them, and they respond by grabbing a baseball bat and smacking you around the head. Their response isn't valid, but they might not go to prison for it if they don't kill you. But you're still a victim. You might be a victim of your own stupidity as much as the other person's overzealous and aggressive response to you. But you're still a victim, and you deserve to be treated as though you're the victim and that you need to be taken seriously. And that's the problem in the law, and that's the problem with the fucking media, because they don't take victims seriously. They are just they're either another stressful thing that you have to deal with because you're a police officer or a counselor or whatever else, or they're another ticket to 100,000 readership.
Meghann, you were starting to say something on that. Did you want to add something?
Oh no, I was just agreeing with her. I'm good.
Okay. No, okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. But I get that on that part, and I wish that the media protected them more, or would at least act with some integrity. I remember the days when you did not publish the names of victims. You did not publish the names of anybody that was in some type of attack like that, or the murder victim's family, or anything like that. Victims in general were protected, but it wasn't something that was in the law. It was just something that was common sense and integrity, and I miss it.
It's that whole ethically and morally correct procedure. It's something that is somewhat lacking in all of the media outlets at this point in time, because let's be honest. Jen brought up Rupert Murdoch before. He's got major issues with the internet, because the internet can do a better job than his newspapers and his media outlets. Because people get to the facts themselves. They can get to the truth. Where reporters on the other side of the country, if they don't get all of the facts, they can make it up.
Well,
which is literally what most of them do anyway.
Here's the reality. Oh, go ahead, Geoff.
I was going to say, around about 10 years ago in the UK, really because of some things that one of in particular Rupert Murdoch's newspapers was doing some seriously unethical shit, and it turned out that they've been doing phone hacking on like hundreds of people, for whether it be celebrities and victims of crimes, and this led to a big inquiry over into our media. Now, not much unfortunately changed as a result of that, but even when it comes to not naming accused or whatever. Now, Jen brought up Rolf Harris earlier. I remember initially his name wasn't released, but they would be a thing of, there was a sort of thing with one for a paper put out like an 83-year-old somewhat TV presenter originally from Australia, so you knew damn well straight away who they were talking about. They gave, in fact, I even, when I first saw the story, I actually shared it, and the comment I made was, "Can you guess who it is yet?" Which was one of Rolf Harris's catchphrases. Because they gave so much away without naming them. You knew who they were talking about.
Yeah, media is definitely changing. If you look at it, you mentioned Rupert, and we all know that most of the conglomerates, even the internet ones that are doing the news, are all owned by just a small handful of people, and they own huge conglomerates of it.
And most of
They're
them misogynistic men. I'm going to.
The top here in the United States, we have what we call the 1%ers, and they are running the country. You know, the rest of us really don't matter. It's whatever they want, and they are so tied into the media. And
those 1%ers that you talk about in the US are the same 1%ers who run
all
most
over the world.
of the Western world. It's the same people. They own everything, and they run it, and governments are afraid of them.
The most damage that they did here in the United States, and thank you, John, very much for pulling up the year and the doctrine name, because I was having it at the top of my head trying to remember the actual year, because it was quite some time ago. But all the way back in 1987, the FCC eliminated the fairness doctrine, which used to require them to deliver issues in an honest, equitable, and balanced way. And once that went away, and they did that based on who knows what it was lobbied against, and it was the 1%ers, because they want to just skew things politically. I would say it was a political move so they could say whatever they want, and the ads didn't have to be truthful or equitable and things like that, and that they could then get newscasters to do the interviews and get everything out in a more, have it look like more than just a political campaign ad. You know what I mean? Like they could actually do press with real news reporters and with real, like 2020 things on there where they do like a documentary type thing, but they could skew it, because the whole thing was about skewing it in your favor. It was about false narrative and just making yourself look better. But they actually put laws in place. They stripped out all of our regulations that made integrity important. Now, you can't get anywhere now as a Walter Cronkite. You can't anywhere in our media, anywhere here in the United States. We have CNN and MSNBC, and we got some good people, but they're biased. They're either left or they're right. They're not. Nobody's in the middle.
We were talking about this in science last night. The fact that if you have reporters reporting on science in the media, generally speaking, they have very little background in science at all. They don't actually understand what they're talking about. They're just
so why are they reporting on science?
Why are they reporting on science? And it's the same for stuff like this. People who end up reporting on violence and rape and anything like that, they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. They're just the reporter who was there at the time, that they don't care about this except for the ratings that they're going to get from reporting this horrific event. And if they can get a fucked up reaction out of the person who was abused, even better, because that will drag in the crowds to watch somebody crying.
Because
fuck you, media, just fuck you.
They want just a nice voice and a good-looking face. They really don't care about the words that are coming out of anybody's mouth anymore.
At that point, if it's the victim.
It is. I'm so jaded about this. Look, I'm just so jaded on this.
We got really serious here.
You know what? Because I love these conversations, and I'm sorry, chat, that we took it there and got so damn serious about it. But when this kind of stuff comes out,
I feel strongly about. I mean, as a survivor myself,
don't apologize.
I feel exceptionally strongly about it. But I do feel also strongly about innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, and don't apologize. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, including everybody in the chat. But these kind of conversations, when they do spontaneously occur like that, I don't back away from them, because people don't talk about this stuff enough. People are afraid to say certain words. People are afraid to engage in certain intelligent discourse about issues because they don't want to get judged. I assure you that you can have the absolute opposite opinion of me. My friends do all the fucking time, okay? And yet all the time, and we still are friends. I've probably had a disagreement on an issue with just about everybody here on this panel at one time.
To be fair, most of us are pretty much in agreement over most of this.
We can, and we're not, but we're able to talk about it, expand it, and receive other information, and either disagree or not. It just because you have a stance on an issue or a personal entitlement to it doesn't mean you don't hear the other voice, because then you may just hear something. Nobody's going to change your mind if you are set in what you believe. And that's true, because you have your own facts. You're going to analyze your own evidence on any issue. And I get that. But always be open to have the conversations with people and to hear other sides. And it's not offensive just because somebody doesn't agree with you, or even if everybody's agreeing with you, you're not growing, period. That's it. Like, you got no room to grow if everybody's just telling you what you want to hear, and you're not, nobody challenges you on anything. I like getting challenged. I want to hear the other side. Yeah. They are the best conversations. Everybody knows, Puddle just challenged me right there about what I said, and I had to consider it. Yeah, what if 27 people came forward and said that I did something that I didn't do, and here I am prosecuted? Well, if there is a lot of people saying it, then maybe we should consider him guilty. And I wouldn't like that if that happened to me, and I deserve to get called out for something like that, because I got to think about it. You got to think about like what you're saying, and it does it, like, how far can you go with that argument? And it's right. It's such a complicated argument about guilty or not guilty and what the laws. That's why we have it right now as presumed innocent. And does it suck in certain conditions? Yes, it does. Does it suck with murder and violent crime, and especially rapes and assaults against women? Yes, it actually does, because it's very hard to prove those cases, and they usually end up walking or doing worse. And yeah, so it sucks, but it is the way it is, because we have to go with the majority. We have to go with the majority of, like, nobody wants to be convicted of something that they didn't do, just like, you can't just judge them completely without evidence. Should certain evidence laws change? Yes. Some things have happened with Me Too, the preservation of evidence. They can't get rid of kits anymore, whether you press charges or not. That kit stays there forever, until you decide what you want to do. They're working on the statutes of limitations, because now it is shown that if there's any kind of a violent crime that happens that caused trauma, you may not report it, because you got trauma. You don't want to relive it again. You're barely dealing with it on a daily basis as it is. So you want to go and report it? Like, now that they have said that trauma can affect the term of how long you get to be able to report a certain crime, that's a big deal. That's a very big deal in the issues of violence against women or anyone on sex crimes. It's a big issue, especially, and even violence against, it's already changed in the United States, in several states, with violence against children, because they don't report until they're older and they remember, or they're in therapy. They should be able to prosecute when they do remember, because they're reliving it. And so that's changed here. I don't know how that is in your countries, but that changed here. Serious stuff. But we should be able to disagree about it. The law is the law. Laws got to change. Laws have to change all the time. If laws don't grow, society's growing. Things that happen grow and change. Everything changes on a daily basis. Laws have to change to go with it. Look at what happens on YouTube. We just watched a case blow up over jurisdiction because everything fucking happened on YouTube. So why? Tell me why, if it happens on YouTube, jurisdiction even matters. Where's the jurisdiction? Like, it's like, is it like where you live, where your computer was? There should be new laws about this kind of stuff. Like, when I looked at that case and I read everything every day, I was like underlining things and making notes every day about how laws can change. Like, why is it this way? This is ridiculous. It's archaic. Like, some of the precedents they had were 25 years old. Tell me why in 2021 we are arguing legal cases with 25-year-old precedent. Nothing else happened in 25 years to change the law. You got to go back 25 years to support it. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's why we end up with movements like Me Too, which, as you said, is a good thing. The problem isn't Me Too. The problem has always been the surrounding of Me Too with the press and stuff. That's why we end up with problems, because we end up having to have things like Me Too, because and it's not just about this. There's lots of things in society where the governments have got, let's forget about this because this is too hard, or we don't think we need to deal with it. And it gets to the point where we as the community have to stand up and say, enough's enough. We need to fix this. Mm-hmm. And we can argue about what the best way to fix it is, but we have to get to a solution.
No, I do. And things just have to change.
They do.
You know, I'm sorry that some people are unhappy in the chat, but I'm going to give you a little bit of hard truth here. Your opinion matters, and you're allowed to say it, but so does mine and everybody here on this panel. And they're not going to agree with everybody. We don't agree with each other. We don't agree with everybody in chat. But voices are voices, and they can get heard. And I don't really appreciate a comment like my channel is better than that. Here's what my channel is. My channel is my voice. I'm sorry if you disagree with anything that anybody is saying, but I'm going to support everybody on this panel's right to say whatever the fuck they want. Just like I support yours in that chat to actually be disrespectful about what is going on here. And you can say your voice, and we're not saying anything to you. We are letting you have your voice. You should do the same for the rest of us. That's what my fucking channel is about. I'm sorry you're not down with it. Sorry, go on.
No, you've got the floor. So yeah.
No, I'm done.
Oh, you're done. You got Let's ban her rant.
I'm saying we've
all had a rant here.
We've got way off of sex swings and cougars.
Yes, like why can't I have? I want to just have a sex swing and a good time, and I get that, but I'm allowed to have my voice too.
I can't even remember what got us onto this at all.
I think I've got a feeling I may have been responsible initially, but
God damn it, Geoff!
I'm glad you've taken the knee, Geoff, because I was sure that it was me as well. So, but I'm more than prepared to allow you to take the blame.
Yeah. Listen, nobody's to blame. Not even the people in the chat. Nobody's to blame. When important issues come up and you got to talk about it, it always gets like that. But I'm always going to support everybody's right to say whatever they want. Agree or disagree. And I'm sorry if people get upset.
Sorry, Claire. I don't think anybody here has been disrespectful in the chat or us here. I think some of us between the chat and us have been talking past each other. That happens.
That does happen when issues get when you've got a lot to say, or like me, when you got big chips on your shoulder and like people
and we've all got strong opinions, and we don't always hear properly what the other people are saying.
Right, but I do hope to give everybody a voice about stuff like that, and we're not arguing. I mean, I don't really feel it's an argument. Just when you don't agree with somebody, I don't really consider it arguing. I don't argue.
I'll say you've been emotional. Definitely emotional.
Oh God, this is like, where did we go wrong? Wait, all right, what do we talk about now? You know what I could do? I could show you in the animal kingdom. No. I was advised against showing sex queen. I regret it now that I listened, that because I could have put up a whole selection of them because I found them with positions and everything, but they were a little too graphic, and I agree. Then I shouldn't do that because it might be distasteful. So we did this instead.
So we ended up talking about Me Too
and legal and like, is there a word we haven't said yet? Wait, how did I get? We gotta.
We haven't talked about duck sex.
No, but we have to say. Well, how did we get Kristen money? Oh, swinging vaginas. Okay, we have to talk about that. Yeah, because that's how we got Kristen money.
But I'm kind of sex swing as well, isn't it? Swinging vaginas. So.
That's true. There's always a swinging vagina. Sex
swing. Well, no, there's not always a swinging vagina.
That's true. That's true.
There could be a swinging penis.
It could be. But I heard you don't get demonetized for saying penis, which is, I guess,
no,
good.
You only get demonetized for saying swinging vagina.
Yeah, this is true. But anyway, when I was doing the research on the cougars, which my presentation bombed out and half of it is missing now, and then I did the manthers. And of course, can anybody tell me who is the most popular, famous manther that you can think of on the planet? You all should know his name in every country.
The most well-known one.
Woody Allen?
Well, he's one. Oh, I'll help you. I'll put them up. But then I want you to...
Oh, I know. It's Eccleston. Oh, what's his name?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
Joe Eccleston?
I'm surprised, you guys. John, help me out here. What's number 4 for AIT? Everyone we do. Everybody. You've been on AIT, Jen, Meg, and Peter. What's number 4?
More porn? No.
Porn.
Everyone.
Yeah, yay, porn. All right. Yep. So, okay. And so this guy wasn't into porn, but he had the biggest mansion with the hottest women. And you guys probably have, well, let's just be blunt. You have had a lot of fun with all of these magazines most of your lives, or magazines that were made after this magazine, like designed to mimic it or go farther than it did. But Hugh Hefner is like the biggest manther out there. He married like the youngest girls out there. He has girlfriends, they're twins, whatever. He keeps them in their 20s. He did. Okay. And a couple of others are, of course, that orange football. We won't even mention his name. But Woody Allen, yes. And he went so far as to actually go with his younger adopted daughter. Michael Douglas, Jay-Z. I didn't know this. Beyonce was so many years younger than Jay-Z, but she is. And Harrison Ford and Clint Eastwood. I know there's a lot of Americans there, but I was busy this afternoon. So looking up sex swings and to take it a little
busy with her sex research this afternoon.
Yeah, but this is why Hef is like the best manther out there, because of the gorgeousness. I mean, he marketed beauty in a different way for sure. And I'm not going to judge him for it. I don't like the lifestyle or whatever, but makes it kind of hard for me to live up to it.
It makes you think he was a Mormon, doesn't it?
I don't know. I don't think they wear those outfits. Like, I don't.
Yeah, no. Well, maybe that's magic underwear.
Wait, but this is for you, Jen.
In the great island of New Guinea, there are 42 different species of birds of paradise, each more bizarre than the last.
They are gorgeous birds.
Aren't they birds of paradise? Yeah. They are, absolutely. The males are phenomenal. I can't believe they do this.
That's some flexing.
And the females are really, really plain.
He's got some moves.
He's got moves like Jagger.
This forest is so rich that nourishing food can be gathered very quickly. That leaves the male six-plumed bird of paradise with time to concentrate on other matters.
This one fascinates me.
Tidying up his
He cleans the area before he gets ready. It's like fascinating. He gets it all ready for her. He's scrubbing down the branches.
Must be spick and span.
That's dedication.
Wow.
That's dedication. I know.
Yeah, it's so hard to find a man like that.
It is. I need to find me a bird. Now, check him out. He's like this is my favorite bird. I love this little guy. Check out those moves. Do it.
Oh, the moves.
Like he did. He looked like Jagger right there for sure. Oh my God.
He needs a bigger beak to look like.
No, stop. Oh my God. No one's watching. I feel so bad.
The paradise calls to attract a female. And he has more luck. But what does he have to do to really impress her?
I'll show you. Oh my God.
And look how plain she is compared to him.
I'm sorry. I know they do, but look, check out that. Oh my God. I don't know if this is going the way he thinks it's going.
If a guy walked up to me and spread out his hands up and down like I was calling the fucking police.
Consider her verdict.
Exactly. It's not going the way he thought.
But have a look at the size of that smile, would you?
It's hard.
No, I know, it's big.
When even your best isn't good enough.
Oh, the poor guy. His best wasn't good enough. I feel bad for him.
I gotta say, Claire, when you first started showing this clip, I thought you were gonna burst my bubble completely and tell me that Sir David Attenborough is a mantha.
No, God, I love Sir David. They would never do that to Sir David ever.
So Claire,
no, yeah.
I'd like to correct you slightly.
Yes.
The ultimate mantha out there is a gentleman by the name of Howard Marshall II.
Who is he?
Oh, I know that. Yes.
So Howard Marshall II happened to marry this wonderful young thing called Anna Nicole Smith.
Yeah.
He did this when he was 89.
He did, yes, and his son was suing her for the estate.
Out of all of the interesting facts that's actually in this article that I'm reading at the moment, she had a 36 double D rack of silicon that he paid for, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Now she was 26. So
yes,
I would argue that he is the ultimate in manthas.
Well, he was rich. He was very, very rich.
Doesn't matter how you get your food.
That's true. Doesn't matter. Okay, you can have that, Peter. That is the number one man. I thought it would be half because of the Playboy bunnies and the quantity, but you're saying quality over quantity, and it's more important if you get to eat, is what you're telling me. And they did get married and they were together, so yeah.
Well,
So okay, I get it. I don't know.
Wasn't Anna Nicole a Playboy girl at one time, or
she was? She was.
She actually came from the house of Hugh Hefner. So I would argue that he's better than Hugh because she's the girl that got away for Hugh.
That's true. He didn't get to keep her. He didn't get to have her. This is true.
Well, we don't know about the have it bit, but anyway.
Well, I don't know. We don't know what those auditions are like. We don't know what those auditions are like at all. But I don't know. I don't know what Hefner does. Believe me, I've never been a Playboy bunny. It's not gonna work. The outfits don't look comfortable to me. Sorry. I just can't. I don't know. But I will grant you that does sound like he was one of the ultimate manthas.
Well, hang on. I'll take it one step further, and I'll do this. If this works, if you go to, I'll give it to you on the internal chat here.
We have an internal chat. Yeah, we do. Oh, I see it.
So click on that link and you can actually see a picture of the two of them together.
It's loading.
Yeah, it's a very slow site. It's not you.
I got it. It's not me, because it could be because me and technology today are not getting along. We are not. Oh, you know what? I could blow it. Look, I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna try to do you justice here, Peter. Thank you. I'm gonna try to get it up.
All I'm saying is, Hugh Hefner was still a good-looking rooster, even towards the end of his time. Howard was a bit, shall we say, decrepit.
Well, you're going to see everybody. I'm glad you're not wearing pants, because you'd have to hold on to them for this one. This check. All right, I'm going to make it big for them. This, he looks a bit decrepit. Would you say? Yeah, he's winner. That's Manther. Definitely. I can't even.
That's got to be love.
Grandfather.
It's got to be love.
I disagree. We're going to have an argument here.
So what if he had? So what if he had billions of dollars? It's got to be love.
It's not love. It's billions of dollars for sure.
He can love money.
She loves billions of dollars, Claire. Get it right.
Yes. it is love. It's love of money and fame and whatever. You know what it is? It was Anna Nicole Smith decided she didn't want to have sex anymore, ever. So so she married for money.
Either that, or she turned around at a tender age of 26 and just said, "You know what? If I put up with this for a couple of years, give the guy a heart attack, I'm going to be set for the rest of my life."
Well, it does look like that could have happened at any moment. It's like, I don't know. He does look a lot older than I was thinking. I mean, a lot older than I was thinking. You know that I don't know. But then again, I saw the picture of his son next to Anna Nicole, and even he was too old for Anna Nicole. Like he was 56 and she was like 28, 29.
Yep.
Yeah. So no, thank you, Peter. But that's not love, Peter. We could talk later about it. I could try to explain it to you, but that's not love. Unless you're talking love of money, fame, you know, a nice lifestyle, you know. And she's trying to kill her husband. If she's gonna have sex with him, she's definitely gonna kill her husband. I don't know. Stop me, please. Somebody talk.
It's all right. You go to bed at night, and you'd have a Viagra and a couple of nitro pills at the same time. That's all.
Yeah, nitro. There's your cocktail. Nitro and Viagra. No, that's like, I don't know. You're definitely gonna need some nitrogen in the nightstand. You know, the nitro pills for sure. Definitely, there'll be no toys in that nightstand whatsoever. But yeah, he does win. I'll give it to you. Yeah, I'll give it to you, Peter. He wins because But Hefner was old too.
Pure oxygen on the side. That's what he needs.
No, it's true. It's true.
We can go back to a sex swing. Perfect opportunity.
It would have been safer if they had one. Because then
it would need to be one of those ones that's got a fully padded seat in it, so that
or not, because if they have the hoist thing, like she could actually control the hoist, that she could maneuver herself for him, and he could just lay there or sit there or
if she
whatever.
had it attached to some hydraulic thing,
she wouldn't have to worry.
He needs one of those rise up and down beds, and she needs the swing, and she can just lift his bed up and down.
There you go. And then you see, because she could break his bones pretty early.
They didn't have a sex swing. They had a lifting machine.
They did. They had a lifting machine. Oh my god.
I have got the worst image in my head at the moment.
This is, what? It was the liver spots. There's just, all those. Somebody talk about naked avatars that are animated again, because all my goosebumps went away.
Down to the nursing home, I go to check out my new theory. I reckon the lifting machine will work.
Yeah, I was just thinking it wouldn't matter how erect he got, he'd still be wrinkly.
And liver spotted. That's it.
Liver spotted.
You know what? I'm sorry. It's the eyes for me. It's the dead eyes for me. Did you see that, man? I'm sorry.
We shouldn't make fun of old people sex.
I'm
one
sorry.
day that will be us.
Yeah, but you know what? But I'm not gonna put pictures of it on the internet.
No, that's true.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm just not. I'm gonna spare you all. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll spare you. All right. My friend sent me some more of these. I'm gonna put a couple more up. Men actually males, not men. Males in the animal kingdom are absolutely phenomenal at trying to impress women, or females, not women. They're animals. Can you tell it's late and I've lost my goosebumps?
Females.
I know, but
it was very Star Trek-esque.
I love Star Trek. Don't diss the Star Trek. I love Star Trek. Don't.
It wasn't, but all I can think of is Ferengi.
Oh, now, you know what? That is what that meant. Oh, don't start. There was a little Ferengi in that guy.
Oh my god, Ferengi in there.
Isn't he beautiful? I mean, come on, look at that turquoise. It's absolutely beautiful. But the next part is even better.
Oh
my God!
God, I hate those. Sorry, I hate those bloody birds.
You do? Because you can hear them screaming, right? Do you have any near you? Because you hear them screaming. You're going to love this even better then. You go.
Oh, rutting.
Rutting is absolutely. They just do this, and it's supposed to. They're just going to get to be the toughest one, and then they just stand there like the women are just going to come running. You see, he's the winner. Definitely the winner, and everybody's supposed to just come around and follow him. That is actually the guy's camera, I think, making that horrible noise. Do they ever? I wonder if they ever get stuck. Like, that's just bad. Do you think they actually get stuck? I mean, has anybody ever seen them? Or any articles about that they're actually getting stuck like together? Because I see,
and then all the does circle around and laugh at them.
No, you think they do? But you notice that they're showing that
it's what would happen with humans.
I know it's not. I don't want to see men doing that. No, they don't have to do that. But the point is that they didn't. They in the animal kingdom, it's a little bit different because with men and women, it's all about the beautiful woman, the younger woman, this and that is the enticement and everything. And yeah, guys, go out of their way. They some are muscle builders. I mean, working on good abs or everything. That I'm gonna tell you, that's not it for me. So like, that doesn't actually work for me or most of my friends. So I don't get it. Why they have to do that in the animal kingdom and the guys got to like be all attractive like that. The women are very dull feathered. The females rather are very dull feathered in the bird kingdom. They're just most of the times like a red cardinal here in the United States, bright red. That's the male. The female is brown with a little tiny bit of red on the top of her head. So you can tell it's a cardinal. That's it. And that's how you tell them apart. Same thing with like blue jays or big sparrows, yellow, bright colors, even the parrots and stuff. And we saw the bird of paradise. He was awesome. He was absolutely. I could have watched that David Attenborough special like all day, but I was too busy looking up other things like, sex swings and stuff. But I don't know. So that was it. That was my presentation that fell apart. And it's even worse now. Because here in where I live in New Jersey on the East Coast, we have so many deer, not big elk like that, but deer. And they do rut. And they actually come into town where the street, like I live on a road that's pretty busy. But during rutting season, they will go at each other right across the middle of the road. They don't care if they get hit. I don't know if they get stuck, but we see antlers like broken off, like all over the place, like on the sides of the roads and in the fields. And when we go for walks and hikings down the paths and stuff like that. So I think they do get quite violent about that. I think they get stuck because how else does it break off? That I can see them on the side of the road. They must get stuck somehow when they do that. But John wants, that's a good comment, John. John wants to know if I meant it was a little Ferengi in her. No, I meant the old guy looked like a little Ferengi. He was a little wrinkled and discolored like a Ferengi. That's what I meant. But that's funny, John. You know what? Does anybody have anything to add about
Not really.
cougars? Not really.
Yeah.
Not massively.
I think we're all worn out from.
I think
ourselves out.
I think I'm done. I'm sorry you were all tortured so much with the serious conversations on a mayhem. Like I just I can't control myself.
It wasn't our intention to get into the serious stuff, and it's not. I don't know that it's what the people actually expect when they come to mayhem for you.
No, they want they want duck porn. They want sex talk. They want well, Well, they did get one thing that they always get, right, guys? I mean, I'm still naked.
Yeah, and we were talking about sex before, and we never stopped talking about sex. We just started talking about the really serious side of crime and stuff like that. And it's a discussion that needs to happen, but maybe this show wasn't the right platform for it. But I think these discussions should be free to happen organically anyway.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that the platform is bad for it, because when those conversations happen organically, they should be had, especially if people are willing to talk about it. So I'm not upset about that at all. I'm upset that I don't have anything left to say.
And
that's the only thing that I'm upset
people in
about.
the channel who are happy to share their experiences, because I mean, like I said, and you know my story now, Claire, but and a lot of people do, because I've talked about it in other things and on other channels, because I'm a rape survivor, so I have strong opinions about that. I also have strong opinions about justice,
right?
And it's something that I can speak passionately about because of that. And I know that's probably going to upset a few people, and there's going to be a few people who will think that maybe you should be less about the presumption of innocence and more for the victims. It's not about one or the other. You can have both. You can have the protection of the victims. You can have rights for victims. You can have better systems to enable better prosecutions and better things to help victims. You can keep the media away from people. All these things are things that need to happen, but we still need a presumption of innocence. That's my opinion on it. If people don't agree with that, that's perfectly fine, but it's how I feel about it.
No, and you should be able to have your voice, and people always come from their own personal experiences when they're talking about issues. You can be as logical about it and do the research and put all the thought into it, but your personal
emotions.
They do. They come down, especially these hard topics, the most controversial topics, always come down to some emotional connection to it in some way, whether you've gone through it, known somebody that's gone through it, you're affected some way about the issue. It makes it, you feel stronger about it. Your voice gets stronger about it. You get louder about it. Like me, you get on a soapbox and, just go on to a rant, or something like that. And I don't even like.
I'm sorry, Claire. I'm sorry.
No. You didn't rant. I rant. You were talking actually quite civilly and logically, and I was impressed.
Feel like it to me.
But I have a hard time with that when I have an issue. I get a little too forward about it, too strong about it, and it kind of takes the air out of the room a little bit. So I've been working on that. But it's hard. It's hard for things like the last few streams I've been on about misogyny. Now it's hard. That's a hard one for me. I'm lucky to be surrounded by so many men who understand that issue and can talk about it freely. I have to give them all a lot of credit, especially the two here. I don't see any issue where they couldn't have the discussion and feel like it was hurting them in any way, because they don't do it. And they actually
the thing with that, though, Claire, and let's be very, very open about this. Like, you don't point the finger at anyone in particular when you're discussing a topic along those lines. And the whole idea of an open forum, so that the discussion occurs, is something that you support. So you don't make and or put men into a position where they feel like they need to defend themselves. And I think that's a very important trait.
Oh, well, thank you, because you are actually one of the people that I do have open discussion with about things like that, or worse. If we're talking about content for the channel or stuff like that, people throughout the community, others that are in the chat that have had conversations with me. I like to talk about hard stuff, and I'm a little blunt and out there, and I don't try to embarrass anybody, but I don't like to bring, particular one-on-one situations where you're talking about a person. But damn, I will talk about an issue every damn day, all day long. Like, I will do it. But a couple of times I have, Peter, maybe, not in general discussion, but I have been on a couple of streams lately about that that were about actual tweets from actual people that had to get dissected. And, you know, names were mentioned and stuff, you know. But actually, I was one of the reasonable people that said I would like to give them grace and I would like them to take the message, but they didn't want to hear it. They just doubled down in the chat and said they meant everything they said. And then it kind of went a little harder as far as my opinion about it. And that was unfortunate. But I still stand behind what I said, because you're going to be an asshat. I'm going to call you an asshat. But at least I didn't do it, you know, behind their back. I said it right to them.
Oh,
you know?
Say it right to their face. Asshats need to know that they're asshats.
And let's be honest, though, like, I personally, I don't know about Geoff, but I'm from what I know about Geoff, I'd assume he feels the same way. If I'm being an ass, you know, if I'm being an asshat, I want to be called out. I want to be told that, yeah, that what you're doing there isn't appropriate, because obviously at that time I'm either emotionally vested or whatever, so that I'm not thinking clearly. I'm not acting as I normally would, and therefore I need to be pulled up. And I think that's what your friends do. That's why you have friends. That's why you trust your friends, to make sure that you you are somewhat kept in check if you do go down the wrong path.
No, and that's true. Like, even everything.
Totally agree.
You do. Thank you, Geoff. That's I haven't had one of these discussions with you, Geoff, and I think we might have scared you away a little bit because things went a little haywire today. But actually, I will stand behind everything that happened, you know, and everything that was said, and be open for any discussion about it. I know I'll get comments about it. Every time I do one of these streams, I get some comments. Every time I do any stream, let's put it that way.
You're never going to please everybody. Yeah. That is the thing. And there are always going to be people who disagree with you, and there are going to be some people who disagree enough that they will unsubscribe and they'll not want to come back because they really don't like what you said or whatever else, or don't like what one of your guests said. That's YouTube. That's the internet. It's going to happen over and over again. We should all be able to talk like adults about things like this, or anything in particular.
I look forward to it. Constructive. Yeah, constructive criticism.
People.
Yeah, they are mostly. And I assure everybody in the chat, if you were not removed, you didn't do anything wrong, because, you know, everybody's allowed to have a voice here, and you didn't do anything wrong. Say anything wrong, you can have your opinions. Everybody can have their opinions, just like everybody up on the panel.
Said anything wrong. There were people who were upset with things that were said in the panel. But I don't think anyone in the chat said anything wrong. I don't think anyone on the panel said anything wrong.
No. And you know, when we put out our voices, they're going to get challenged, and that's a good thing. I mean, it's not a problem.
And not just because we might be wrong, but sometimes people don't express things the way they intend to express them. You know, you might not be wrong. You might just not be expressing yourself very well, and that happens.
No, I look forward to the DMs that I get, or the conversations I have after streams. I get them after every stream, because I do all different types of streams. So I usually look for those conversations. And some of you, I've even, you know, contacted you and asked you about it. Like, oh, did I do, you know, what do you think? Like, I heard this from somebody else. Like, what's your opinion on it? Because I want to balance everything out. I want to get more than one opinion. I don't want mine should not be the only voice about my content. It should not.
Can I just say a big thank you, and you're very brave, Shyla, for sharing your story in the chat earlier, because it was very poignant. What was being discussed.
Yes, so it was. It is brave when anyone shares their story. Meghann here on our panel is one of the bravest women I know right now, sharing her story with me.
Meghann.
Yeah, on
you.
addiction. So, you know, we do all kinds of stuff. We hear, right? We get a lot of feedback on that, don't we, Meghann, on that series, trying to balance it between the story and then the type of help that's out there, and what some people have gone through different than what Meghann went through. You know, people relate to everything differently, you know, on a personal level. Right. So they may not understand every part of it, but there's some part of it that they're going to relate to. And we talked about that, right, Meghann? Like, how to balance it out. Like, because in honesty, I I can't say it so much in the format we were in, but here I can like be a little more open about. I really was conflicted about the 12-step program about AA because of, for my own personal reasons, because most of the steps had God in it, and also personally, I believe that you need to take 100% ownership of anything that you do wrong or that is bad for you to make a difference. Like, you have to own it before you can move through it and for it. And I was disheartened by some of the steps where they tell you to throw it and give it to something else. Like, give it to a tree, give it to God, like it's not you. And I kind of think the most important part of that issue with dealing with it and understanding it is you. Like, you're going to make the difference. Only you, nobody else. Like,
that's
only
right.
you. And so then we were talking about CBT, where cognitive behavior therapy, when added to it, and actually take the God part out and you put the cognitive behavior therapy points in, it made more sense because you own it from day one. And you're not putting it anywhere else. Yeah, sometimes things get overwhelming and you have to put it aside, but you don't put it away somewhere.
I always forget that AA was all about putting not necessarily God, but a religious icon first.
Right. They say give it, and things. It leads to. I've heard many stories that it's led to guilt. Where what did I do wrong that God didn't protect me from this, or what am I? How come I'm relapsing? Like didn't do it right.
About guilt. Recovery from anything is never about guilt. It's about coming to terms with your own shortcomings and how to overcome them and be a better person.
But it's hard because you can't do a thing about the addiction as a whole thing, as being a disease, and not actually put value on that program, because let's face it, years ago it was the only program there, and they volunteered. They're all volunteers and they're trying to do some good. So I don't want to take away from it the good that they do. Many people have used that program and had great success. I'm just saying that the things have changed and it doesn't work for everybody, and there has to be more than one way. And that's what we were trying to stress. And you don't want to upset people in the chat that had used that program to get sober and had great success, or anybody who believes in. I don't want to upset anybody. If you believe in God or you believe in any religion, I mean, that's for you. That's great. I'm all for it. It was just like my personal part of it, and I actually had some conflicting conversations with people about it because I wasn't as hard on it as they know my personal stance is, but I did put the right, Meghann, we addressed it. We put the information out there. We just didn't hardball it.
Yeah, I mean, I have no issue really really going after anything that whatever works for people in a certain sense. I mean, I had a friend who sadly passed away a few years ago, but he was a heroin addict, and he used a lot of methods that you'd possibly call a little bit wooish, but it worked for him. And so who am I to judge that? I mean, the only program I've ever gone after, should we say, in a sense, because it is a bit dangerous. And I had a guest on for this, was one called Narconon, which the Church of Scientology run, and I only went off that because that one is particularly dangerous.
That's completely messed up, that one.
Wow, I didn't even. Yeah, that one. I didn't even add that one to the stream, did we?
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. We just talked about the most popular ones. That is a very popular one, but another big chip on my shoulder is Scientology. But we won't go there. I've had enough for it today.
Yeah, there's a. Well, anyone who wants to know a bit about that, there's one on my channel from about must be maybe a year and a half ago now, with myself and Pale Blue Mama. We interviewed Chris Shelton, who's a former Scientologist, about Narconon.
It's about.
Okay, I'd like to watch that.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to add your link down below to the group of links that I have down there for the channel. So anybody that's interested in checking that out, it'll be easier to find. Geoff? if Puddle hasn't already put it down. But thank you for putting Purple's channel out too, Puddle. If you could grab Geoff, that'd be great. Well, we like to put everybody who's on panel in the chat too. They're always linked in the bottom of my videos. What time on Wednesday? We said 2:00 Eastern. That's 1:00 Central, Meghann?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. For in US time, that calculates to 7:00 UK, and if you're in Australia, that would be 4 a.m. or either 2 a.m., 4 a.m.
the time that I watch it later and not live,
or 5 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, but they're all in a playlist on the back of the channel. There is an addiction story as a playlist there, and they're all listed there. And the Q&A will be there after Wednesday too. It'll be an open live chat with Meghann and I, and she will be able to answer questions. And if anybody has questions they'd like to send ahead of time, that'd be great if you want them addressed more fully. We didn't do any questions, right, Meghann, during the whole thing. We just concentrated on the story.
Yeah, just the story.
And now we can talk more about it if they'd like, and then we close it up and move on. But Geoff, you'll have a very interesting story about your friend. I remember you telling that prior to. Do you ever feel like you want to talk more about it?
It's not my story to tell, and you know, really. So,
what about like for his charity and all? Is it still running?
As far as I know, but yeah, there's a few people I'd have to try and get in contact with that I haven't spoken to in a while. But it's not something I feel I could come on and talk about it, because it's really not my story to tell.
No. I just meant it's such a good story about, like, because he did so much good, and I'm hoping he got to tell it somehow, somewhere out there, because it's very inspiring, everything that he accomplished with it, and again, we're sorry that you had that loss too.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, like. I think I'm ready, guys. Are you ready? And thank you for dropping the link. You sound so enthused. Are you sleeping, Jen? I think everybody's sleeping on me.
I'm not. No, I'm not sleeping. I actually feel pretty good, which is amazing considering what happened last time. I got a jab in the arm. So.
Oh, I am glad. I'm so glad you're not getting it back. My second one wasn't as bad as my first one. I did get a little bit of a headache.
It appears to be that way for me too. Like I said, I don't even have pain in the arm, which is great as far as I'm concerned. So.
Yeah, John, I'm sorry to disappoint you. I showed absolutely no duck penises today. Not one single penis. I was too I don't know. John, I'll make it up to you next week. I'll show you plenty. I got a Buddhist with a really big heart on. I haven't shown yet.
Next week, it's going to be panda sex. Come on, panda
sex. What? No, how am I going to research
this? You put that in the chat earlier, did you, Clara? I asked everybody.
That'll be a short stream.
If it's panda sex, it'll be a short stream. Because
now that can be furries as well as actual pandas. So get your pictures to Claire.
Oh God! What are you doing to me? You bet. You know what? If they, oh my God! It's like didn't I tell you?
Claire's never going to want me on this stream again.
No, that's not true. I want everybody on this stream. This is true. I just.
The problem is, right? You're talking about sizes earlier, and you all know this is the thing. Some of you know the owner of the BBC. Everything is going to be small in comparison. You know.
This is true.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So some of your viewers might not get that reference, Claire, but
no, they won't. But those of us that watch do. But I don't know. I don't know. I think you want to try to explain it, Geoff. It's only going to get worse if you do. But no, I get it.
Yeah.
No, don't. Yeah. No, Daffy Duck, definitely, John.
Watch Six Pack on Heretical's channel on Fridays. So then you'll
and then you'll know, and then we'll know.
Then you'll for reference.
You know what? Some of the people in the chat actually come over there with me sometimes. It's nice. They do. I think Meghann's even been over there a few times, and they are crazy. It is too early for me. They want you there for the pre-show. That's so early. I have to get up so early. I don't know. I'm not good without coffee. I don't know what they expect. I am not good. I am not good without coffee. I just 6 o'clock is just a little. Oh no. Oh, Jen.
I'm normally at work when it's happening, so when that show's on. So
because you're 5 hours ahead, but at least you're awake. Like for me, it's like the pre-show is like 6 o'clock in the morning, and is anybody that sees Twitter, I'm up at 3 a.m. Like after, like even
the look on this panda's face.
All right, everybody. Jen assisted. I didn't do this. Jen did it. Sorry, chat. Here you go. There. Now there's no stream next week about panda sex. Because here's your panda sex. John, I'm sorry you didn't get a duck penis, but you can have some
panda sex.
You can have panda sex for the night. That's what we're gonna.
The look on his face, though, is like...
he's so happy with himself, isn't he?
I don't know. You want to see happy? You should see the turtle. The turtle.
The turtle.
The turtle that wasn't the other turtle, not the
one from Kentucky, not the one in Kentucky.
No, but he was in my video. He was in my little short. I will send it to you, Geoff. It's iconic. It's like he's in it, and he's a turtle. But at the end, there's a very happy turtle, and his face just cracked me up. I can't. John, that was an old face. And John, who's going live at 3 a.m. in the morning? That's like killing. It's 3:10 already. Who? He said that's one of our other friends is going live at 3 a.m. already. I don't know. Maybe there's tragedy. I don't know. Or they're just having fun. But on that, thank you all for being here. You stayed a really long time. You're dedicated. You guys, I hope we're all still friends tomorrow. I hope.
Well, at least it's daytime for Geoff and I.
I don't know.
And Ozzy, sorry.
I know,
most of us it's daytime. I've just realized.
Meghann, I'm sorry I kept you up so late.
Girl, no, it's okay.
You're so dedicated. I thank you for hanging out, and I will try to talk to all of you after about what went wrong and how I'm supposed to, how I could possibly do this better. I just, God help. Oh, I need help. But anyway, opinions are welcome. Everyone in chat, opinions are welcome. My DMs are open, Instagram and Twitter, and email on the back of the channel. On that, I'm gonna put my mood enhancing outro, which I absolutely love. Thank you for the writer of this music. It sends me every time. I'm sure I'll get my goosebumps back while I think about animated naked avatars, because that's going to be a thing, people. This is definitely going to be a thing. And also, I need help writing stuff. I need
You want some children's stories?
No, I can't go. Wait, I can't go. I have something special for you guys. Can you give me one? I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry, everybody. I almost blew the best part. Yeah,
we're gonna end with a bedtime story.
We are, and then I'm not even gonna talk to anybody. I'm just gonna go and put the outro on and leave. That's it. Here.
So should we say goodnight now?
You can
say good night, Australia. Well, good night, America as well.
I mean, I'll probably see you in the back room if you don't run away. But yeah,
no, I'm at the chat.
Oh yes.
Well,
when the outro comes on, it's pretty long. You can still chat with them. So there you go.
Tim and Kate are swingers. They really love to swing. They swing high. They swing low. They swing with Sally. They swing with Joe. When they swing, there is no norm. They swing with girls. They swing with boys. They wear their pearls, and they swing with toys. They swing in masks. They swing in lace. But if you ask, they both will say, we want to swing with a unicorn. They swing, they swap, they push, they pull. Their swinging parties are always full. Kate will swing with 6 or more, while Tim takes pics. Pics galore. Tim likes to watch, so watch he does. Tim likes to film it, just because. They swing in France and in Manila. They even swing with plain vanilla. They swing all night, from dusk till morn, hoping to find a unicorn. They know she's out there, within their reach. Someday they'll swing with her on the beach. While they try to find that beauty, Tim will swing with something fruity. The end.
Oh God. Yeah, we want to start writing our own.
Yeah, I think we need to.
You know, they're good though. I'm having fun with them. And people send them to me. They want them read. It's funny. I don't know. All right. Thank you very much, all of you. Jen, Peter, Geoff, thank you for hanging out. Meghann, thank you for staying so long. I know. But I will talk to you all again soon. Hopefully you'll come back. Hopefully I haven't ruined it for everybody. We'll see you all next week. I'll put the outro on and I'll see you there. Bye.
Bye all.
Bye.
Yeah. All right.
Bye. Whoa, where is it? There it is. Bye.